What's up, everybody? It's your host, the host of the most, the Gangster Boogie Groovinator of RaidersOfLostFlicks.com. And I am here with the Don of 2 Cent Toys, Salvador.
Hello and salutations. It's me, Salvador, and tonight I'm going to be talking about some entertainment and merchandise.
Yes. Our East Coast connection, Cartel, our buddy and friend of the channel, Goober Brothers Entertainment.
What's up? So I'm really excited to be on the show tonight. I spilled beer on my computer just now opening this beer, but you know, the show must go on, and go Browns.
That's how we do it. That's how we roll.
Yep.
And last but not least, my brother from another mother, the made man from Michigan, Big Pete Daddy Dollar.
Oh, baby. It is I, it is he, it is me, it is P-double-D. Still, it's like 2 years in, still IWE Tag Team Champion because I never lost my belt, and it sits right here behind me every day. I am the man, the myth, the legend, the wheeling, dealing, kiss stealing, limo riding, jet plane flying, Pete Daddy Dollar. E-Temple Cooing from the Place to Be Reviews. What up, Groove? How you doing, my brother? Good to be here, gentlemen.
Everybody throw panties. Throw panties.
That's no joke. That used to happen.
I'll throw you this instead.
Oh no! Got the bogan!
Turn of the bogan.
It's back. The bogan's back.
Adam, take this and clean yourself up.
Hail Fandom Menace. How we all doing tonight?
Oh, excellent, bro. Excellent. Good to be here.
Speaking of Fandom Menace,
Oh,
how many of you guys have seen The Mandalorian?
I've seen it about 8 times now. Each
So
episode.
why don't we talk about The Mandalorian a little bit while we're waiting people to...
Am I the only one that hasn't seen the
Cooch
Mandalorian?
on in here. Spoiler free. Spoiler free. We're going to talk about what we like about it, what we don't like about it. Let's go
It's hard to
around.
bum off Disney Plus when everyone.
Actually,
on the
you know what?
channel wanna
Before we
bum
even
off-
do
bum
that-
it off of just watches it all the time.
Before we even do that, let's just talk about briefly, as quickly as possible, how we got into the Fandom Menace and what we expect from it going forward. I'll start off. All right. I got into it going on the internet to see if I was really crazy, because friends of mine literally were blocking me over my opinion of a movie, which didn't really come out and say that I hated it at first. I said I was confused, but I did come out and say that I wasn't interested in the direction that Disney Star Wars was going in, and people blocked me based on that assumption. So I had to go online to see if I was crazy, and the first thing I saw was one of Jeff's toy videos. I was like, holy God, I am really not alone. I am really not alone. Where I see it going is, as long as entertainment deems that they should tell you what you're supposed to like, there will always be a Fandom Menace. Who wants to go next?
My story's a little long, so I'll go last.
Okay. What say you, Pete?
Oh, all right. Well, I had not been to see a Star Wars movie since Revenge of the Sith. One of my coworkers bought me tickets to the ticket to the Last Jedi, so we went and watched that, and I was like angry and confused like 10 minutes into the movie. And you know, I kind of was in a bunch of toy collecting groups, and I started getting kicked out of groups and getting attacked in the groups because of my opinion of the movie. When, you know, the spoiler embargo was lifted and we started talking about the movie in depth, I would break it down and I would get attacked for it, and I got kicked out of like one of the bigger Star Wars groups. It's called like Star Wars Docking Bay 94 on Facebook. I got kicked out of that like by one of the admins because he kept coming at me because I didn't like The Last Jedi. And I stumbled across one of Jeff's videos, World Class Bullshitters, on Facebook, and I started watching a stream, and it was actually the first one I caught. It was one of the podcast episodes, and he's like, you know, he talked about the High Council on there, so I listened to the High Council, and I started going to his channel and digging into his videos, and I found his Last Jedi video. I'm like, oh, okay, you know, this, all right, you know, so, and then you start, you know, I joined the group, and like, I didn't join the group until like August of 2018, you know, his Facebook group, but I kind of, you know, I didn't have a YouTube channel or anything, but I kind of started like, okay, there's more people than just me that feel this way. It's like, And then I went back and I watched Force Awakens. I'm like, wait, what? Because I didn't see it until after The Last Jedi. Same thing with Rogue One. And then I watched Solo and I'm like, oh my God, Rogue One, I love. I adore that movie. The character is a little bit flat, but no, the Phantom Menace, man, it's been good to me. I've met all you guys through there. I think like my first interaction with Cody,
friendships have been forged.
Was like in a comment thread, probably in the group or I think on a live stream. Sal and I were on a world class stream, the Toy Collector stream, and Groove and I were on the another show together, that other show. And that's kind of how we got to know each other, was through that.
Yep. Friendships were made, bonds were forged.
Absolutely.
But yeah, attacked for your opinions. How about you, Goober? How'd you get into it? Where do you see it going?
I got into it when The Last Jedi came out, and I was like, really, I first saw The Last Jedi. I was really, I didn't really know how to feel because I never felt as bad as I did with the Star Wars movie. When I saw The Force Awakens, I was like a little uneasy about it, and I didn't really know how to feel then. But once The Last Jedi came out, I walked out of the theater like,
what happened? What did they do? Is this a joke?
Yeah. Like the whole time I was like, what is happening?
Yeah,
So
jaw-dropping moment to say the least. Yeah.
I was just, I don't know. And then me and my buddies talked about it afterwards. So like, you like it? And I'm like,
to be continued.
I didn't know how to feel about it. And I was like, I still don't like The Force Awakens, and I don't really like this one. And I didn't know, because such a huge Star Wars fan, it's hard to feel about a movie like that, about a franchise that you love so much.
And we talked about that a little bit on your show. It's like one thing we can't stand is when you meet another Star Wars fan, the first thing that comes out is, so have you seen the new ones yet? What do you think about those?
Yeah. So that happens.
Where is he going with this? How is this going to end? How do I soften the blow? Do I change the subject? Do I just, I don't know, pretend that I'm on fire and run away? Or
I'm just upfront about it now. I'm just like, I don't fucking like those movies and they suck. But if you like them, cool. But I fucking hate them. But and most of the time, I find common ground with people. I met a couple that worked at a movie theater in my town, and they both don't like them. One of them's a manager, so it's cool. Anyways,
awesome, man.
But I found the Phantom Menace through World Class Bullshitters first. I was watching a bunch of Last Jedi reviews, and I was like, same with you, Adam. I was like, I ain't fucking crazy here. Everyone hates this shit. Yep, attaboy. Dude, I'm one of those. But anyways, I watched
Phantom Menace.
Hell Phantom Menace. I almost said Mandem Fanis. Okay.
Mandem Fanis. We can make that one up later.
There you go. But yeah, I watched Jeff's the World Class Bullshitters like review of it, and I really liked the chemistry and everybody that was on there. And out of all the reviews that I saved on the playlist,
of them too, man. Exactly like you. I found the bullshitters, and then the bullshitters kind of introduced me to everybody else that's come after that.
Yeah, I found the Wolf. I found him. Found World Class Bullshitters. Geeks and Gamers I found a little bit later. Saw EVS through World Class Bullshitters, but I found a bunch of other reviews. Mauler, I found Mauler on there. But World Class Bullshitters was awesome. Did some backtracking with their episodes, stuck with them since The Last Jedi, and I've been on a couple streams with World Class Bullshitters, and I have an announcement later on that I'm going to make, not on the show tonight, but once the other person makes the announcement, I will do a little, announcement about it. But yeah, so World Class Bullshitters, love the Phantom Menace. It's a good community, and people can say all they want about how butthurt they are, which we are butthurt about Star Wars, but it's a great community, and I've never met anybody personally that's like just flat out a fucking pain in the ass.
We made a relationship out of defeat.
Yeah. I've never met an asshole that actually represents what the Phantom Menace is, and those people aren't Phantom Menace. I mean, they can say they are, but it's.
Now, where do you see it going from here?
Personally, I think as long as entertainment's around, it's going to be around. But, even if Star Wars does make good stuff later on, I don't think it's going to die. It's just, I think the Phantom Menace will be around for a long time. I don't know how long, but next.
How about you, Sal? How'd you get here, and where do you think it's going to go?
Mac and me.
Damn it.
Played the Mackinac
Yeah.
part early.
Struck down with my own answer.
I'm just kidding. Actually, so way back in the twilight years of 2015, I saw. So fucking updates go away. Remind me tomorrow. I'm yelling at my computer. So, me and a tattoo artist who has done extensive work on me would nerd out anytime I'd come in for a session. He was a really close friend of mine, and we bonded heavily over the Marvel movies. Went and saw them all on opening night together, and we're super excited for episode 7. Well, orders popped, and I was going to be overseas for episode 7. So I was able to see episode 7 a couple days after it came out, and the whole time I was sitting there watching it, I was like, this is A New Hope. I've already seen this movie. Why am I watching this?
Yep.
And the longer it went on, the more angry I got, because I was like, oh, there's the new Emperor, there's the new Darth Vader, there's the new this. I was like, this is a reboot. And I could see the pandering from a mile away. Like, we call it pandering when really it's a trope at this point.
Yep.
Like, it's just something I fall back on. It's saw that coming, if that was going to happen. And so I sent him a message, and I was like, hey, we haven't had a chance to talk about this movie yet. I didn't really like it. I didn't like this trope and that trope that they were doing. I saw it coming from a mile away. I think it's tired. If they want to try something new, then be new. Don't bring in tropes and then call it new. And I was like, it was A New Hope. I didn't really like it. And he lit the fuck up over it. And I lost a really close friend over it. Like, he blocked me on Facebook. We didn't talk over a fucking movie. And
movie. Yep.
I was like, all right, well, no one else in my close friend group really cared about Star Wars or anything else. So
Yeah.
I went and saw Rogue One through the same means. Really liked it, and I was like, okay, they've got my trust again. Like, maybe I was one of those that was like, well, episode 7 sucks, but maybe episode 8 will justify episode 7, and it won't be as bad. Episode 8 came out, and it left. I didn't immediately hate it, but I was left with like a weird feeling. Like, I was like, I couldn't tell if I liked the movie or not. Like, because I know I didn't like it, but I couldn't put my finger on what I didn't like about it. And then I was like, well, I'm overseas. I'm in what we call a hazardous duty area. And I was like, or arduous duty. I was like, okay, well, maybe I'm not in the right frame of mind because I'm worried about getting blown up. So I was like, I'll watch it when I get back to the States. So watched it when I got back to the States, and I was like, no, I still don't really like this movie. And then bought it when it came out because I was like, okay, maybe
third time's a charm, right?
Yeah, I was like, maybe now I'll get it. Maybe I just wasn't, maybe I just didn't get it. And I bought it, watched it. I was like, no, I fucking hate this movie. But it seemed like everyone else fucking loved it. And because I didn't pay attention to audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, I didn't pay attention to any of that shit. And so I just Googled, like, am I really the only person that doesn't like The Last Jedi? And EVS's video came up on Google, and I just clicked on it, and I watched it. I was like, this guy is saying exactly what I was thinking, was articulating what I was feeling, but I couldn't, come up with the words. And then that he had a live stream come up, and Jeff was on it. It wasn't High Council yet, but Jeff was on it, and I really liked the way Jeff talked. And then the next morning was a Good Morning Pop Culture. So I watched that and then just went high and right after that. I'd found my tribe.
You found your lost people. Yeah, that's kind of how it happened. And the reason I did this is because it comes up often now, maybe more now than it did a month ago or maybe 2 months ago, that we are some kind of organized hate group. And I want to put that to bed right now because we're going to actually talk about things that are happening in Disney Star Wars right now that we kind of like. Mm-hmm. Now, does it mean that everything is all fixed and hunky-dory? No, but it could be a step in the right direction. Now, I don't personally have Disney Plus, but a couple of these guys have seen The Mandalorian, and it's kind of all the rage right now. So why don't we get into that a little bit? You want to kick it off there, Pete? Talk about The Mandalorian a little bit?
Yeah, I can do that. Absolutely. So we're going spoiler free for episode 2.
We're going to go spoiler free. We're not going to ruin it for you guys.
Yep.
We're just going to tell you what we like about it, what we don't like about it, and kind of where we hope it's going to go.
Okay, so this episode was called The Child. It was directed by Rick Famuyiwa.
I'm so glad I'm not the only one that messes up names.
Famuyiwa, and written by John.
Sorry.
I can't see the screen right now because I'm on another page. Let's see. So he was, Pedro Pascal's character was going through the ordeal of, the last episode. He was going after his bounty, and he found. Well, can we acknowledge what it was he found? I think we did that last week. We talked about who he was after, his bounty, what it was.
I think if you've been on Facebook for more than 2 seconds in the last week, then everyone knows already.
It's
almost impossible to dodge the spoilers from this thing, man.
This is all I'll say. It's a
baby Yoda.
It's a baby Yoda, and it's freaking adorable.
I know more about the baby Yoda than I do about the freaking Mandalorian.
It's probably the cutest thing I think I've ever seen since the birth of my child. And I mean that, like, I think it's adorable.
Cuter than puppies.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Like a tiny.
Whoa, wait! You mean people in the Phantom Menace actually like cute things and babies and puppies? Wow,
fuck porgs.
I thought we were a bunch of haters. Yeah, well,
damn it.
I heard porgs are delicious if you like dip them in butter and garlic, and then roll them in cornflakes and deep fry them. Yeah.
But no, so he's trying to get his bounty off this planet and this baby Yoda, and he just goes through a whole bunch of ordeals during his journey, and it's almost these. If it had a bigger cast, if this was like an ensemble show, I would say episodes like this are like, it would be considered like a bottle episode, basically. Very little supporting cast, just kind of like the man and the story and the journey kind of thing. But, there is some other characters involved. There's a couple good, a couple good fight sequences, actually. We get some more interaction with some Jawas, which is cool. Without giving too much away, and there is a sand crawler, which is really freaking awesome, because who hasn't
so there's member berries, but they're not just that's not all it is. There's like a little bit more to it than that.
Yeah, the member berries participate in the story instead of just being there.
Yeah, they actively serve the plot.
It's not a movie of, hey, remember Star Wars? Remember TIE Fighters?
It's
remember
not
X-Wings? Remember Darth Vader?
It's not Pepper Farms. No, I dug it. I've heard some complaints about it, just from it's slow, and I think it was actually Doomcock that was the one that was kind of saying it was slow. Which, I mean, I guess it is, but with a show like this, it's going to be a slow burn show,
right?
It's not a movie.
Now.
Yeah. It's kind of hard watching, I think, a Star Wars, and I haven't seen it yet, but I can imagine that being a concern. This is the first Star Wars TV show they've done since Droids and Ewoks.
Yep.
So other than cartoons, which are fast paced in themselves, Star Wars has always been a very fast paced movie franchise where you're telling a story at rapid speed. Trying to slow burn anything in a Star Wars universe is a slippery slope. Go ahead, Sal.
Just a frame of good comparison. Think of it like how Rogue One was an isolated story. Mandalorian is a marathon where Rogue One was a race.
Okay.
So they're taking their time. It's a slow burn. They're building the world. They're establishing characters and kind of growing them instead of just throwing them all at you and being like, hey, this is the new person that likes this person and sweats and breathes heavy a lot. Like,
and I've said that too. I actually if kind of prefer sometimes a TV series over a movie, especially something that requires a lot of universe building and character establishment.
Yes.
I like the pace of a TV show as long as at some point we get to the action. And from what I understand from this show, the action doesn't disappoint.
No, there's a good mix of it between, like Sal said, the world building, which is what they're doing now. Can we talk a little bit about the creature effects?
Absolutely.
Do it.
The Transdosions.
Yeah.
Transhans
are isn't that what they're called? Transdosions, Bosks.
Are they Transdosions? I always call them Transhans.
Dude.
I mispronounce everything though. Yeah.
I don't know. I might be wrong.
For brevity's sake, we'll just call him Bosk.
So the Bosk creatures, we get to see 3 of them, and they look. I mean, they look great. The sound effects are just like the Clone Wars. And I was just watching
Like Ben Burt level of sound effects. Gotcha.
I was watching the Padawan episode of the Clone Wars where the younglings are taken by the Transdojans, Ahsoka and them.
Yeah.
And the sound effects in the show, The Mandalorian, are spot on with the Clone Wars. I thought it sounded really good.
I call it the Predator episode.
Yep. But no, the use of the weapons and just it was really cool to see, because like you said, we never really got to see Bosk do anything, like Forlom and Zuckuss and IG-88 and all them.
Yeah.
I had heard that. Yeah, that was one of the most. And the funny thing is, so much has been built up around them bounty hunters just because they look cool. They're out there they're on the bridge of Darth Vader's flagship, and yeah, you got IG-88, Forlom, Zuckuss,
This is Tales of the Bounty Hunters right here.
Dengar. Yeah, I've read Tales of the Bounty Hunter. This is an awesome book, by the way. And Dengar shows up in the solo books, the Han Solo books as well. He's like a reoccurring villain there. So, yeah, there's a lot of that going on in Star Wars where it's like you wish you knew a little bit more, but then you don't.
Yeah.
But then somebody says, I got this, and then they go
Yep.
and they write a book or a comic book or put them into a video game, and they kind of develop this life outside of the movie. Aura Singh's another one from the prequels. I always thought she was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And she kind of got her own thing after a while.
Yeah, she finally showed up in Clone Wars when Boba Fett had his little like 5 or 6 episode story arc where he is under the care of Bosk and all those guys. And then,
Correct. Dave Filoni kind of put a lot of those characters that didn't get fleshed out more in the Clone Wars into the actual Clone Wars TV show. So
Would have liked
I
to see
mean-
more of them, like more of Aura Singh. But
yeah.
that's just-
But you know, like they do that sometimes. They'll sneak a figure out there, remember the preview figures that came out for episode 2. Like they had the sneak preview figures, and they had Zam Wessel, I think, and
I just bought a Zam Wessel.
a clone trooper.
Nice.
So I had one of the first clone
So
troopers
happy.
ever. I think I still got that in the card somewhere. But yeah, I mean, you're looking at us, and we're talking about things within Star Wars that we like, and I think a lot of times that. And I've been saving this for this episode. I've been dying to get into this conversation. It is just assumed that you have to hate everything under Disney's watch or everything that comes out right now that's Star Wars because it's the cool thing to do. If you look down to the left here, you see Salvador's got all of his new stormtroopers. He's got a what is that? A purge trooper that's from the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order game, which is also getting good reviews. People are digging the game. They're actually they're saying that an EA game. This is the life of a Star Wars fan trying to get your damn figures.
Fucking
to stand up.
Ewoks.
They never do. There's always one of them that has an overweighted backpack or a bum fucking foot that won't stand up straight. This is what you go through. Yeah, especially if you have dioramas. Oh, shoot, dioramas, diarrhea. It's the worst.
yeah, diarrhea is pretty. Actually, it's pretty cool.
God damn it, Bobby. But yeah, we don't want, at least this group of 4 right here. I can't speak for the entire Phantom Menace. We haven't really been in there as long as some of the other people that kind of, nobody really claims it as their own. It's just kind of a nickname for a group of people who have been disillusioned and had friends walk out of their lives over a freaking movie. I mean, it could have been Star Wars. It could have been Lord of the Rings. It could have been.
It's
Gem
a very
and the
loosely
Hologram.
used name for a group.
It kind of
Yeah.
represents a group of people that are just not satisfied with one of these dumb decisions that Hollywood made to go in and reboot something without respecting the original source material or its fans, especially its fans.
You could be a huge fan of Doctor Who and not know dick about Star Wars and still be Phantom Menace. I mean,
pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. You understand, and you see a lot of the same things happening to similar franchises. You've seen Doctor Who get invaded, and we're talking about identity politics. And we don't like to talk about identity politics. We get tired of it. It is because we are tired of it, which is why we are together and talking about this right now. It's because we don't want that. We don't want to go to a galaxy far, far away and look at ourselves in the mirror. That's not fun. That's not entertaining. That's not why it was created in the first place. You see something that is strange, but yet somehow familiar. That's how Star Wars got started. But I mean, you see right here, you got the video games, you got the toys. We're talking about things that we like that are coming out right now, which is not really the cool thing to do. But at the same time, we will acknowledge when we like something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we call that allegory when we see something that's familiar but different. And it's an art that's been lost in the last, I'd say,
Oh, I know, right?
5-6 years. God. So, and that's really kind of the nail on the head. It's not so much like, God, I hate when people try to say it's, racism, misogyny, all that kind of shit. It's like, it's not the fact that the character is, ethnic or some, like, just a not straight white male. It's the marketing behind it. It's that's their defining character trait. They're not a character. They're this. They're not standing on their own laurels. They're not, being built up. They're just like, oh, well, you're supposed to like them because X, and if you don't, then you're Y.
Yep, that's what happens all the time, and I get so tired of that. It's almost like it's this. I feel this is the way I see it. I see it like it's this built-in defense mechanism. It's like, okay, I make my movie. I have an all-female cast. Now I don't have to write a story because people must support this, because if you aren't, you're an is and accused of an ism, and I all of the ists, all the isms, I've been accused of all of them because of my frustration, not my hatred, my frustration with The Last Jedi. Now I hate it, but I hate it more not because it's not a good Star Wars movie. I hate what it has done to people. Somehow people took that movie and turned it, they went and took Star Wars, something that I've beloved my entire life, and turned it into yet another platform to preach to people. And that angers me. And it's not so much that it's so much in the movie. There are things in the movie, but it's what people utilize to start arguments with. It's like it was built that way specifically to start these arguments, yet again, as if they weren't enough already.
Mm-hmm.
Makes me wonder if these people have any friends.
They don't.
Really, because like
I think a lot of people choose their friends based on these politics, and I think it's sad, man. I really do.
It's like, what if you like have a friend and you're like, I like her because she's fucking black, and she's strong. Is she a good person? No, she's just black.
I don't have the tweets in front of me, but
stupid.
I've seen them recently where people are complaining about The Mandalorian, saying that the first episode there wasn't enough women speaking.
I got them.
Share screen it. We'll put it up.
Yep,
put
it's like,
share screen.
Yeah, it's like I like these friends because they're women. It's like, do they have any other good qualities about them? Are they smart? Are they kind? Are they gentle with like animals? Or
that's
are they,
all right, man. Yeah,
nope,
it
don't matter.
People that are watching entertainment and that's the first thing that they're looking for, those people don't want to be entertained.
I'll pull it up. I'll pull it up real quick.
Okay. Yeah. If you find it, I'll do a screen share.
Yep.
But yeah, these tweets that are coming out, this is the kind of stuff that we're tired of. And I will take it a step further. I think honestly that, and I've mentioned this a few times, and I do strongly believe that where it is now with this stuff is not near as bad as it was, say, 4 years ago. I mean, it's still there. Yeah. A lot of these things were put into motion back in like 2015, 2016 that are just coming out now, like Charlie's Angels, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But, these things were put into motion, but people are, as a whole, money-wise, are not supporting these things anymore. And the people that claim that they support it really aren't either, because where is the lost sales?
Yeah. There's more to people than their skin color and their their gender. So
thank you, Cody.
Get over it, people.
Well put.
That's the other thing there. Just a quick little 2 bits. They're focusing more on, I wouldn't say just necessarily agenda, but trying to score woke points or trying to score whatever, instead of realizing like, okay, those people that you're pandering to might go buy a single movie ticket so they can, use their blue check mark and say, I saw this, it was powerful. Not that it was any good, but it was powerful. But the people like us who are passionate about these, genre movies, who will buy multiple tickets and then buy the merchandise, I'd rather pander to someone who might pay, 4 movie tickets worth and then buy the merchandise.
It doesn't matter how many woke points you score, you're still gonna fucking lose in overtime.
They're not redeemable for cash value. So
Yep.
And I feel like a lot of these things aren't really, they don't really exist. I think they're more of a talking point, and I just get angry that the sci-fi fantasy franchise has been used as a talking point. I think that's probably the most horrible thing that's ever happened to this the Star Wars community. The fan base now is split down the middle as a result of a bad movie. Not so much just the bad movie, but just the bad marketing behind it. Like, okay, well, you don't like this because you're obviously somehow offended by, strong women, or I hate using the word people of color, but that's what always comes up in these arguments.
Yep.
Was never the case. It's just that these stories don't make any sense within the universe that they claim to exist in. They don't fit.
a quick segue on that, just for posterity's sake and to argue verbiage. I've, not to reveal too much about myself, but my girlfriend, who's a woman of color, who's black, like, we've had conversations at length about that verbiage, like people of color, women of color, man of color, whatever. And I don't think the people who use that with their blue check marks realize just how inherently racist that is, implying that men and women are automatically white and you have to specify that they're of color. Like, because by saying person of color or woman of color, you're then stating that every woman or every man is inherently white and then otherwise different by being of color.
They're just people.
Right. I mean, I graduated in the
Yeah.
90s. I was taught the proper way to say it was African American, Latin,
Native American.
Native
like-
American. Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
Eastern
like,
Indian. Yeah.
Yeah, describing people is fine, but when you're, like what Sal's talking about, you're just really alienating a huge group of people and just kind of making it sound like it's all about, a certain group of people, like saying everybody's white. Like, you're kind of just like pushing a bunch of shit on them.
I think there's some of the people that some of the suits feel like just getting these discussions going is a good enough selling point. Like, it doesn't matter if fans are angry. Well, at least they're talking about it. They took that cue from KFC because KFC makes the worst commercials in the universe. And
they're
Yeah,
amazing.
somebody asked KFC, the president of KFC, like, why do you make these horrible commercials? Because you're talking about it. Everybody's talking about it. It's like, I don't want people to like it. I want people to talk about it, because any talking about my product is good advertising. Do you think might be the case with some of this stuff? Like, they know it's going to piss people off, and they do it because, well, everybody's talking about it, so somebody's going to go out and see the movie just to see what everybody's all fussing about.
I mean, maybe something that I've thought about before is that maybe there's been a shift, because clearly, as the director of merchandising, that field has it's picking up speed again, especially this past year has been a huge year for the collecting market. But there might be more money in ad space, because if people, you could say like Star Wars is this, and if people are mad, they're clicking on it. Therefore, the ads on the page are generating revenue. So they might be making more money off ad revenue than they are merchandise now.
All I know is that if you're Jon Favreau or Dave Filoni, these tweets should piss you the fuck off.
Oh yeah. I mean, look
Go
at
ahead,
this.
Pete. You want to read a couple of these?
Yeah, we got Claus Manat Marcus, and I need to preface this by saying, don't go mess with these people.
No, we don't condone that.
Don't engage. I don't have time to black all this out and all this shit. So you're on the honor system here. Be better than them, and don't go harass these people by name. Now, if you want to go click on their profiles and see who's got their pronouns in their profile, then please, by all means, go ahead. I'll guarantee you this girl right here does, because there's a blue
What's
check
that
mark.
meme that says, do you want to just click on somebody's profile just to see if they're as stupid as the words that are typing on Twitter?
Yeah,
Yep.
they probably don't even know what adjectives are.
Oh, deep cuts.
God damn it.
Deep cuts.
So it describes a verb. So far there aren't
Good job, Pete. You got the big brains on
I've been
Brad.
working on that one. So far there aren't any women in The Mandalorian, so most Star Wars fans should love it. And that has 222 retweets and 2,635 likes. Here's
That's 222 people with just not enough to do.
yeah.
Not enough to
Here's
fuss about.
Bria Lavorla, whatever. Bria LaBlah. Okay.
Blah.
Watch the first episode of The Mandalorian again, and I'm still really disappointed by how all of one woman had lines. Stupid face.
Oh my God.
Here's Elizabeth.
What a
My
pansy.
face looks like a Bumberg. Watching The Mandalorian and really enjoying it. However, it has taken 19 minutes for a female to appear. So that's disappointing. 8 likes.
Oh my gosh, he's being such a JoJo
Oh.
right now.
And this guy I did look into because this guy is like straight up. He looks like, I don't know. This dude is definitely like a male feminist who's been pegged. I'm sorry. 1945 length of time before there's a female speaking role in the first.
So
episode
this
of The
guy
Mandalorian.
actually took the time
Yeah.
to timestamp
Yes.
the actual episode that he's watching to dissect it. This is sick.
This is
Continue.
next level idiocy. This is as bad as the people who are complaining that Samuel L. Jackson had more lines in a Cat Pan Mediocre trailer than Brie Larson. That's these people.
And Samuel L. Jackson having star power and been in an established franchise that's been around for a decade had absolutely nothing to do with it, right? Okay.
The highest
gotcha.
grossing actor of all time.
All right, continue.
So I got into it with someone on Facebook and Twitter about that,
Oh, about
the Samuel L. Jackson thing,
yeah.
and they were like talking about that, and then it was conflated. That was conflated with the talks of having almost said Malcolm X, of having Denzel Washington play Magneto,
Yeah.
and because the Holocaust came up and all that kind of stuff, and they were like, well, X, Y, and Z, and I was like, okay, so I just want to be sure that so between a Holocaust survivor and Denzel Washington takes priority, but when it comes between a black man and a white woman having dialogue, the white woman takes priority. Got it. So it's white woman, black man, Holocaust survivor, and
Yep.
and I was just trying to figure out how their hierarchy works and what's woke, like what's more woke.
And this is one thing that level right there that shows some level of acceptance of anti-Semitism, which really kicks me in the dick. In the entertainment industry, it's still like it's not okay.
The absolute chutzpah of these fucking blue check marks, these fucking schmucks. All right.
Oh, I tell you what I do if I was a rich man. Yibby dibby 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 dum bum bum bum. All right. So here's another one from A. The Mandalorian is fun, but where the hell were any female characters? Here's another one. Not a single woman in that entire Mandalorian pilot. Ugh.
Yes,
And
there
it-
was.
Yeah, there was the blacksmith.
Yeah.
Was a female, I
Mhm.
believe. I
Yeah.
mean, how much more of a badass? Okay, you have a female blacksmith in a tribe of warriors. You know she's bad. I'm sorry, babe. You know she's bad.
So
Just like a-
here's the thing: the writers' room is full of people that think like this. So when we keep getting this bad entertainment, they're thinking about these kind of tweets while they're assembling their script and their movie by committee. They're trying to think, well, if I do this, they're going to say that. If I don't put that in there, they're going to say this. Because of this kind of crap right here. But the thing is, these people don't watch this stuff. They
No.
just watch it just to bitch about it.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the best one right here. The Mandalorian review. 1 out of 10. No female lead role, and there's too much violence. First of all, dumbass, you spelled too much violence wrong. And the show's called The Mandalorian, not The Mandalorian. So
Well, also it belongs in a universe called Star Wars,
Yeah.
not Star Puppies.
yeah, I mean, really, no. No female lead role. Well, chill, man. It's only been 2 episodes. I mean, are you gonna? Am I gonna get mad right off the bat because I haven't got exactly what I want? Stormtroopers in a gun battle, in a blaster battle, and I want this. Well, you know what, man? You got it's a slow burn. These people, it's the instant gratification they want now.
How many people told me to watch Game of Thrones? And I said, I watched the pilot. I was bored. Oh, no, you have to watch 4th season of it before it to really kick in.
Mm.
Bruh, I'm dying. Bruh.
Yeah, I'm not watching 4th.
Every time I'm in the street, I hear
Sorry, Cody.
You're good. No, I'm not watching that many seasons to get into a show. I'll watch the first season to get into it.
I'm old school, dude. I have like no patience when it comes to getting into a TV show because it's like if I'm going to invest in something, then you have You have an hour. You have an hour.
Yeah.
Right, to get me on board with it. All right. If I'm not interested in the premise of it, perfect example, Sons of Anarchy. All right. I was not interested in the premise of watching a TV series about a biker gang. I don't know nothing about biker gangs. Nothing. Watch the pilot. I watched the pilot, instantly hooked. Watched the entire series based on the pilot. Because back then, when you made a pilot to get people to watch the rest of the show. That was the whole point. Your pilot had to work.
Yeah, well, it had to work in order for them to order a whole season. And there's usually a few week gap between the pilot and the rest of the season.
It's this old school mentality. See, now everybody's conditioned to just instantly have an entire season of a TV show right in front of them. It's all released all at once.
Did y'all read any of these yet? The second page, because these get better.
Read the best ones.
Okay. I kind of want this now. This motherfucker, I think, has an Adam Driver as his profile picture, so you know the son of a bitch got pronouns in there.
We're already a little skewed. Yeah,
That's cute. That's cute. What gender is Kylo Ren?
It would make that actor better if his name was Adam Taxi Driver.
Way better.
You talking to me?
I kind of want to watch The Mandalorian, but I kind of want to boycott it until they have more female representation.
Okay.
So don't watch it. Okay, you probably don't pay for it anyway. You got your week trial. You got to bitch about one episode. Shut up. Let's see. Oh, here it is. This is also my thoughts about The Mandalorian. There's no fucking reason The Mandalorian couldn't have been a woman. And to go along with that one, here's another one down here that's really just a brain dead moron. So Disney gives us a strong female protagonist in The Last Jedi film, and then goes on to launch their first TV show on their service with yet another male lead. Why couldn't The Mandalorian be female? Am I missing something? I was so hoping that would be the case.
Did they not pay attention to the casting where they're like, hey, Pedro Pascal is going to be the Mandalorian?
You know,
Nope.
I kind of missed something too, because it's
Right
like
there. Pedro Pascal is, quote, to use their verbiage, a man of color. So clearly woman beats man of color. Got it.
Yep.
there's also no reason why it can't be a man too.
Well, yeah, man.
Does man have to become extinct in this universe now?
Well,
Yeah.
hey, if they want a female lead, wait till you see the fucking episode 9 leaks. If you want some really,
We're going to get into that in a little bit.
Yeah, if you want some women moments,
we're
then-
going to dabble into some of those leaks, but we're
Yeah.
going to get through the Mandalorian and then we'll move on.
This is the last one I got right here because it's from a guy, and if I could blow this up, I would, but this is a guy. I enjoyed The Mandalorian, but ... The cast is 98% male. There are more droids with lines than women.
what if some of the droids were female?
What the fuck? Yeah, the one droid's a pansexual toaster. Lando's banging in Soilo. I mean,
Yeah, you don't know if one of those droids is female.
Again, let's see. They had Nick Nolte,
yep.
and who they call the not the dignitary. They call him the employer, whatever the Empire guy that hired the Mandalorian.
Oh,
So,
it's Werner Herzog's character.
Werner Herzog, yeah. So they have those two, and then Brian Posehn's little cameo, if you count that. So there's 3 white men. Literally everyone else is, again, to use their verbiage, a man of color. With Taco Tuesday, fucking Carl Weathers. So
Yeah.
women more important than anything else. Got it.
Yep.
Just keeping track of how their hierarchy works.
This is I don't understand how people can have fun when that's how you're watching your entertainment. That's how you're consuming your entertainment. This is all you're looking for is. And the thing is these people were not interested in this universe to begin with. They just wanted to take it and hijack it and use it as a talking point to talk down to people. All right. And to have something to bitch about. The best way I can describe all this nonsense is, like my sister said, we're not technically at war. We're in a cold war, but we're not technically at war. So people have to find something to protest. And they just look for stuff.
They're worried that this thing is, that the only thing they worry about is if it passes the damn Bechdel test. That's it.
And the Bechdel test and all this shit right now is mostly a Western problem.
Yeah,
a lot of this stuff doesn't go overseas.
Baizu doesn't go to China. They don't like that.
So when you inject this shit into movies and then you ship it overseas, they're like, nope, don't want that.
Nope.
Not interested.
Don't like that.
Yep, don't like
Nope.
that.
I don't think
So,
I'll have any of that.
one of the appeals of Star Wars is that it wasn't just an American made movie. It was a worldwide phenomenon, appreciated by cultures as far as the eye can reach, and it had appeal to everybody because Star Wars was assembled by using things from people's cultures and repurposing them and giving it back to us with these characters. A lot of these things, there's entire books that have been written about where the lightsaber comes from. It's a representation of Excalibur. Why Darth Maul has red and black tattoos. It's to, aggression is used in tribal paintings, in African cultures and things like that. They looked for these things when they made these characters.
Right. There were global movies. They didn't just focus
Yes.
on half of the politics in America.
At least under George's watch. Now, under Kathleen Kennedy's watch, who is very more feminist focused, she's a businesswoman. She's not a creative type person. She's not a science fiction person. This is not her universe. It's a job. It's a company. It's a logo. Just running it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of her politics that have been injected into this, and when we talk about it, we're just told that we're evil people because we're not supporting it. But also, just to back up a little bit, you had a 1-2 punch of, The Force Awakens was very successful. I didn't hate the movie. I know there's a lot of people that are kind of mixed on that one, and I'm fine if people don't like it. I don't think that their arguments are invalid. But then again, I'm old enough to remember all of the arguments from the prequels because I was in my 20s when those came out. And I was part of a lot of those online arguments about the prequels. I like the prequels, but I admit that they have their problems. So I'm used to people complaining about I like this aspect of Star Wars and I don't like that aspect. But you had the 1-2 blow of The Last Jedi failing, then Solo not making any money, and on top of that, in the same time frame, you had Star Wars Battlefront 2, which is a video game that is so controversial that legislation has been called in to debate whether or not loot boxes are legal or not. All of these things happen under the Disney watch. So it is popular to assume that Star Wars has failed because all of these failures just kind of happened at the same time. And you have this like time swarm of events that happened all at the same time that make you think, okay, Star Wars is broken. It's never going to be fixed again. So now we're not allowed to say we like this thing or we like that thing because it's not cool anymore. Or I don't know. Sal, you played the new video game. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Abso-fucking-lutely. Very quickly before I go into Jedi Fallen Order to, I guess, piggyback on what you were just talking about with EA and all their shenanigans. You're referring to loot boxes, and it was taken to court, and some countries have outright banned them because it's considered gambling. And when the game is rated E for everyone or whatever, children predominantly play those games like Fortnite and what have yous. So children are gambling. They're paying money to open these boxes because there'll be a character or a skin or what have you that you, up until that point, could not unlock via gameplay. You had to buy loot boxes to get Boba Fett, to get Darth Maul or whoever. Or they would say, oh, you can unlock this character by playing like 300 hours of gameplay or something. It was something that a normal person could not achieve. Their defense on that, they tried to compare their loot boxes to gashapon machines, the little quarter machines that you turn and crank at the grocery store. A quarter to get a little keychain is not the same as, $3 to get a loot box. And that's predominantly where they'd been making their money, is on EA Sports, like the FIFAs and all that, because people would buy the same game every year for a new player. Or, they had this card game system that was going on for a little while. So you'd buy like a booster pack of cards that would make your players better or unlock certain characters, what have you. So legislation has come down on it. They're basically saying, cut it out because that's gambling for kids and they can't encourage that. So that brings me to Jedi Fallen Order. Get out of the way here. So Jedi Fallen Order is the new game that has come out. I am officially halfway through. There are 6 chapters in the game. I am at the end of chapter 3, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. EA is the parent company, but it was made by Respawn Entertainment. So you see Respawn, Lucasfilm, EA, no Disney anywhere. Interesting. The game takes place, I think it's 5 years-ish after Episode 3. You follow a Padawan, Cal Kestis, her former Padawan, whose master was killed. From what I've seen in the game so far, he carries around his old master's lightsaber. I haven't beaten it yet. Like I said, I'm only halfway through, so I don't know if at some point he builds his own lightsaber or he just keeps his master's lightsaber. Throughout the game, you unlock your old Force abilities because he's been in hiding, so he's kind of lost a lot of his Force stuff, like Force Push and all that kind of stuff. And you unlock them through gameplay where, you can't do, I don't know, Force Push or something, so you can't access certain areas because you need to be able to push a piece of metal over to get to that area or whatever, but you unlock it through a cutscene, which is usually a flashback to him training with his master as a youngling. So I like that dynamic. It's hard to talk about what the game's about because it's kind of a lot of spoilers, like just starting.
Is it more of an actioneer, like say? I know this was pitched kind of as the original idea for this game was it was supposed to be it was originally supposed to be done by the person that did Uncharted until she was exited from the project. So does this have anything in common with the Uncharted games, like the adventure games?
It does. It's very linear. There is some exploring you can do, but it's linear gameplay. It doesn't, like I said, you have to have certain abilities to unlock certain areas, so you can't you can't go too far. But I liken it to, it's like if you took Force Unleashed, Dark Souls, and God of War and just kind of smashed them all into one game.
Nice.
So there's no loot boxes, there's no online gameplay.
This is the same company that made Titanfall 2, which is a wonderful game. I love that game. And then also they did the online only game recently. What was that one called? Damn it. Can't remember the name.
Apex, I think.
Apex Legends, that's it, yeah. Which was also really popular. These guys kind of don't really announce what they're doing, and then they just say, here's a game, and then people kind of like it. It's not overhyped like something like Anthem,
Right. And that's something I really like. I know that this current generation of gamers, they like the online gameplay. They like the Fortnites and the Overwatches and all that. And just because I can't see the appeal doesn't mean that those games are terrible. I'm sure people enjoy them. But I'm very much a solo player game. I just like the story. I like the journey. And so far, it's essentially through different means they become aware of a list of Force sensitive younglings that the Jedi Council was looking at before the Purge, and so it's kind of that you follow sort of like Uncharted. There's kind of like a map, or there's not necessarily directions, but there was someone who was doing this. You don't know what happened to them yet, but you find little hologram recordings of them being like, oh, I was doing this, but you haven't met this character yet. I'm assuming that he met his end at some point. The second sister is a really, really great villain. I've only encountered her twice so far in the game. You see her at the beginning. She's the one that shows up when Cal uses his powers to save a coworker from dying, like one of his friends. He's been hiding on, I don't remember the name of the planet, but he's a junker. Basically, he's been cutting up planets. And it might be on Corellia, maybe, or might even be Coruscant. I don't remember. You're only on that planet for basically the tutorial stages. But he uses the Force to save a friend from their version of the Sarlacc, and the Inquisitors show up, and the game starts. It's a lot of people are shitting on it because it's EA's in the corner, and EA did us dirty with Battlefront 1 and 2, but I saw Respawn was making it, and EA is just a parent company, so I gave it a chance, and I'm really glad that I did. It was nice to have something just be Star Wars. I got the Cal Kestis figure. I reviewed that on my channel, and I even said, like, looking at him, the character looks like Star Wars.
So it doesn't feel like a video game that was designed to milk people for microtransactions or to just be a cash cow casino like Battlefront 2. Before they made the massive changes, was actually the progress of the game was hidden behind quote unquote surprise mechanics.
Right, surprise mechanics. Yeah, that's
so you at the same time you had a generation of Star Wars fans that were pissed off at the movies, pissed off at the people fighting about the movies, and then pissed off about the video games all at the same time. Just a boiler keg of just negative energy surrounding Star Wars.
Right. And that's it's funny you bring that up, because when they showed the first production images of Cal Kestis, it's this, ginger kid, and people, the blue check marks on Twitter, lost their damn minds. They're like, we thought we would get a this or a that, and you just gave us another generic white dude with red hair. And it's like, what is your obsession with hating on people with red hair? I don't get it. But, I will say there's a lack of aliens in the game, like NPC aliens. There is the pilot of the ship that he goes around on is an alien, but it's mostly people. Like you link up with some rebels and all that, and they're all humans. The only aliens, you end up on Kashyyyk at one point, and the Wookiees look absolutely atrocious. Like, the game is beautiful until you see the Wookiees. They're the one eyesore in the entire game.
You sent me some screenshots.
Yeah, they are bad.
They look bad. They almost look as bad as the CGI cats.
Yeah.
It's just like the sequel trilogy. There's like no fucking aliens except for Sporces, apparently.
Sporces. Oh God. Oh, tell us about this. Tell us some more about that.
So this game, even on the back, it just says "Become a Jedi." That's the only thing you get. Like,
now there's no online in this, because I don't see the online connection icon down the little blue boxes there usually tell you the online connection require, or now I believe they have to tell you if there's surprise mechanics in the game. That was like something. So we'll do that. That's how we're going to keep the kids from gambling.
Also, it says Galaxy-spanning adventure awaits in Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, a story-driven third-person action-adventure title from Respawn Entertainment.
What sorcery is this?
Yep, that is it.
It's almost like they want to give fans what they want, huh?
Almost. It's kind of crazy. And the beautiful thing is, because of the time period that it's in, you are fighting stormtroopers, but you find force echoes. So there's some stuff in it that's kind of sequel trilogy-esque, like he touches things and has like visions of the past. They call them force echoes, but that's kind of how you fill in the story that way.
Well, that was like EU. That was Quinlan Voss did that.
Right. But now, people want to talk about how when Rey touched Luke's lightsaber, then fucking
spare me.
Right. But, it's so you'll find like, wreckage of clone era ships. Like Saw Gerrera shows up and he has one of those fucking clone ships with the big ball things on the side that I can't remember the name of.
He's actually in the game. I did. You know what, Cody, you told me to watch Young Ripa do his live stream, and I did. I watched some of that. That was a good time.
He's funny as fuck, dude.
Yes, he is. Yeah. I liked watching him play the game. I wanted to see Angry Joe do it. I'm not sure if he streamed or not. If he did, I wasn't able to watch it. But I do like watching the early play, because that was one of my compliments about Battlefront 2 was it was a pretty game. It just wasn't a very deep game, because like the first Battlefront game that came out, was it 2015? It came out alongside of The Force Awakens, also a really pretty game, but it had a terrible lobby system. And I realized after playing that game for about 2 hours that was really all there was to it. It's very pretty, but it's like it gives the illusion of depth, but it's about as shallow as a mud puddle.
And another point of praise for this game is there's no load screens.
Wow.
Every once in a while, like I'll be going up an elevator or something and I'll hit a lag and I'll get the little loading ball, but otherwise it's like Dark Souls. There's no loading
So
screen.
it kind of does like God of War, where it doesn't really show a loading screen, just kind of transitions into the next scene by like kind of zooming out and then zooming back. Oh, I love that.
Right.
I love it when they do that.
It's a third person, so it'll like zoom in close over your shoulder and then it'll zoom back out. Or when you transition between planets, you are still your player character walking around the ship until it's time to land.
That's awesome.
So it's great. So in lieu of just putting like a loading bar at the bottom between planets, you're just on the ship interacting and then time to land. So
And you're one of many friends recently that's told me like, bruh, this game is actually pretty good. I think you'll like it. And they know how I feel about Star Wars and how I feel about EA and everything that's happened under the Disney watch. And they know that they have to come packing if they're gonna have the balls to say something like that to me without me just going off. But I've been open-minded with this one. I'm like, if it's a good game, I believe you. I will check it out. I have this on my list. I'm hoping it's going to go on a Black Friday sale. If not, I'll probably pick it up anyway.
But the other main thing, or another main takeaway, I should say, is there is customization. You can customize the lightsaber. You can change the outfits. You can change whether he wants to wear a poncho or not. You can get different ponchos, but it's all found items. Like there's different chests and all that hidden around throughout the different maps, and you have to find it. So I really like that aspect. I also like on the map itself, it divides the map up into chunks, and they're all labeled different things. And you can move around the map, and it'll tell you if you've explored everything or how many chests are left or how much this is that. So you can know when you've 100%ed an area instead of just, going back and forth. I have glitched a couple times, like I've fallen through a floor or I've jumped into a mountain or something. Occasionally, if there's too many enemies on the screen, that's when sometimes the graphics might degrade a little bit. But again, this game is in its infancy. They've only released one patch so far, but I highly recommend this game. So
nice.
I just, like I said, I encountered the second sister earlier. You saw me in the group chat. I was freaking out over it because there's a major plot point that comes up at that time, and it was great. Also, you spend a lot of your time fighting troopers and animals. So it was really nice to have some lightsaber combat, but they did it right. You didn't know what you were missing or that's what you wanted until you fought her the second time. So that it's instead of having like a Jedi or a Sith or an Inquisitor every load screen or every other screen or some shit, they have it spaced out enough to where you have enough time to like kind of own your skills a little bit, and then you fight. So
I'm excited about this, man. Oh, go ahead, Cody. Sorry.
I was about to say, what would you rate it compared to The Force Unleashed?
Force Unleashed.
Let's just do Force Unleashed 1. What would you rate this against it?
I'm in that camp that didn't really like Force Unleashed that much.
I didn't either, because I came from an older. My favorite Star Wars game was Jedi Outcast, and I always wanted them to go farther with that series, and then it just stopped. And then I wasn't really crazy about the original Battlefront, like the old Battlefront that came out. And then when Battlefront 2 came out in 2007, I got addicted to online gameplay playing that. But I was still very much Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, which are also sequels to Dark Forces, which was the first ever Star Wars first-person shooter. And I'm a first-person shooter junkie, and I don't know why they don't pick that series up and keep going with it. But this is exciting, though, man. You're telling me this is a brand new series, brand new game, not attached to a franchise, not a reboot, not a remake, and it actually has you engaged.
Right.
With decent gameplay, no online required, and no loot boxes or microtransactions.
Yeah, it's literally what I've done all day. I woke up, went to work for a little bit, and I've played this ever since.
Wow. I'm excited about it now, man.
Yeah. Now, caveat to Force Unleashed, I like the story. It's the gameplay. I've always felt the gameplay was a little clunky.
Yep.
At least for me.
Compared to something like Jedi Outcast, it felt a little rushed.
Yeah. Now, the combat system in this, that's where Dark Souls comes in. You have to parry, you have to time your attacks. There are vulnerable spots and hitboxes and all that you have to think about. And the save points, like if you die, the game doesn't punish you as bad as Dark Souls does.
Good. I can't stand those games, man.
But you do get punished. Okay. So it'll take you have to meditate instead of having a bonfire. So it'll take you to the last place you meditated. And anything you did between meditation and there, you have to redo. So if you found a crate or something, like the good part is like the meditation spots are frequent enough to where you're not going back to the very beginning of the level or anything like that. But also, whatever killed you, like if a stormtrooper killed you, they'll be highlighted in yellow, and all you have to do is hit them once, and you'll get like a lot of stuff back. So if you had any not experience, because you don't level up in this game, but you get a sort of experience to unlock different like saber skills or what have
Perks,
you. Perks, yeah. So you'll get all of that back as soon as you hit them. So I've got my shit pushed in a few times by some mini bosses that I didn't know were there until I showed up, and then I got my shit pushed in. So I do the whole hit and run away thing. But yeah, it's a great game. So
why don't you tell us about this beautiful action figure that you got sitting next to us?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Link Alex 7 is here. What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's up, Link Alex?
Big and tasty like McDonald's.
Welcome, fellas. It's me, the man of the hour. The ladies call me big and tasty like McDonald's. What's up, good gentlemen? Also want to acknowledge MJ is here. We got Leo Red in the chat. We got 7 people watching. Make sure you hit that like button. Pretty, please.
You are all so beautiful.
You are all stunning and brave.
You're all breathtaking. You're breathtaking.
You're breathtaking, all of
All
you.
right.
Every last one of you bastards.
This is the part where it takes a turn a little bit. I do like this figure. Go watch the review on my channel, 2 Cents Toys. My particular figure has some factory flaws, and it's mostly reuse. It's what the figure represents that is a slight issue or a point of contention. I'd also like to start by saying this is actually a commander, so that title's wrong. It's I think they call it a Purge Commander Stormtrooper, Commander Purge Stormtrooper, whatever, because he's got the pauldron and the little flanks here, so he's a commander. I also found him a little too early in the game and got my shit pushed in.
Oops.
Yeah, I'm one of those, like, the game will tell you, okay, you've done everything you need to do, now go back to the ship and go to this next thing, but I'm like, no, I'm going to keep exploring until I can't go any further.
Yeah.
That's the thing, you backtrack a lot, but like Dark Souls, you make shortcuts. Like there'll be a door that you can't open, but you'll go all the way around to work way through, and then you can unlock that door. So the next time you come back, you can bypass all that and just go through the door instead. So that's nice. But this figure in particular was, if I can show the bottom, if it'll focus, it's not going to focus. The abbreviations up there are Action Figure, Star Wars Black Series, First Order, Street Date 11/14 bundle only. And it was $22.99. So during pre-order, I asked the manager there, who he and I are on a first name basis, because I always get whenever I walk in, they give me a new printout of what's available for pre-order, and this popped up, but it didn't have an X next to the name for pre-order. And I asked him about it, and he was like, "Well, that's the figure that's coming with Jedi Fallen Order. It's on there for release, but it's not available for pre-order individually. In order to get that figure, you had to get that."
Okay.
So the deluxe edition game is like $70, and then you had to pay that on top of it. The $22. It was about $100 for all this. But that's about the standard fare for that figure.
Well, it's EA. They're going to get their money somehow. They're going to find a way.
That's EA, but this is Hasbro. So, and that's where in the collecting community, I've spoken at length on my channel. I ranted about it for about 20 minutes or 30 minutes almost, about how I don't like exclusive figures and I don't like them being hidden behind paywalls. I was referring specifically to Comic-Con exclusive figures, like, fucking He-Man Con or whatever down in, I don't know, Albuquerque, New Mexico. You can only get this version of He-Man at this specific convention. If you can't make it there, then fuck you.
Yep.
And that's been a huge point of contention in the collecting community, like Walgreens exclusive. Not like my hometown does not have a Walgreens. The closest one is 2.5 hours away.
Ouch.
So you're going to have to drive 2.5 hours on the chance that they might have an exclusive figure that you're looking for.
Because God knows they ain't going to hold it for you.
Right. So the only caveat to that, I feel okay doing this one because everyone had a chance to get it, because even if you didn't have a GameStop in your area, you could pre-order it through their website and they would mail it to you. So everyone had a chance to get this figure. I don't know, like if you walk into GameStop tomorrow and buy the deluxe edition, if they'll have more of these that you can buy, or if maybe now you can buy them individually. I haven't been to GameStop in about 5 days, which is out of the normal for me. I usually go every couple days because I pre-order a lot of stuff. But so this figure is a point of contention right now, just because it's an exclusive, especially with Hasbro and the way that they've been doing their dealings. Back in July, I think July-August timeframe, there were a lot of Comic-Con exclusive figures that became available for order on their website on Hasbro Pulse. But just to give an example, the Black Series did a 6-inch Kenner Boba Fett. So they did the 6-inch Black Series Boba Fett, but in Kenner colors. I had 2 in my cart. I clicked checkout, and like I was Johnny on the spot. Like I saw, like they went live at 11 my time, but it was like 10:57 when they said order now. 2 in my cart, checkout. I had express checkout. Like I just scanned my thumb and it's off it goes. Checkout, went to scan my thumb, it refreshed, sold out. I
Jeez.
didn't know. Because
So people are still buying Star Wars figures.
well, the collectors like us are still buying the characters that we like.
Yeah.
And that's something that I'm looking forward to, just speaking about this merchandise in
I mean,
particular.
I collect toys too, but I'm not going to go out of my way to buy like a Game of Thrones action figure or something like that. But if it's Star
Right.
Wars, it's something that I like. Well, yeah,
You can get the Game of Thrones figures on clearance right now at Walmart for $5, and those are the
Right.
McFarlane figures.
They're showing up at Ollie's.
They've got every Daenerys you could ever want, and Jon Snow.
That character didn't age
I
well.
think it's a beautiful figure, though. I really like the red and black color scheme. I like the chrome chevrons. I know it's a repaint, but it's not one of the worst things I've seen from a video game action figure. You know, I remember they had some Stormtroopers out. They had some Stormtrooper exclusives when they launched the one that we just talked about, Force Unleashed.
Mhm.
They had some Stormtroopers with that. I still have them.
Yep. They've been re-released, actually.
Yeah.
I'm confused because that clearly looks like a clone trooper.
It is.
Yeah.
Why is it called
It's
clone trooper?
Yeah.
it's a repainted clone trooper that they made for the game. Yeah.
It's a repainted clone trooper that utilizes the Sand Trooper pauldron and a new helmet. Now, in the game, I could probably look up like some screen caps or something because I'm too busy getting my shit pushed in by these guys. But if I could pause it, then I'd be able to tell you if they're wearing Stormtrooper armor in the game or not. But you got to remember that this game takes place shortly after Episode 3.
Okay.
So while the Stormtroopers are running around in Stormtrooper armor, there's nothing to say if this armor wouldn't still be in circulation.
That's one thing I did love about the Clone Wars is the fact that there's all of these really cool Stormtrooper combinations that exist like between Episode 3 and Episode 4. Like one of my favorites was like the camouflage Scout Trooper that was in Episode 3.
Yeah.
I love that thing.
I have
man.
Commander Gree.
Yeah,
Yep.
those things are awesome.
Yeah, that's last Saturday. My Lego build was a Scout Walker thing from Episode 3, and it was a little camo clone, which I no longer own because it's in a box headed to Pete's house. But so yeah, this figure in particular, it kind of represents more than just Star Wars at this point. So because it's got that paywall in front of it, and now again, I don't know if these are still available or not. So some people are kind of angry about that, I guess.
But it does feel to me though like these things were built with the intention that they want to make something that they think fans will actually like.
Right. And
Yeah, at least I get that much from it.
yeah, and the thing is, like, I get it. What they should have done, at least in my opinion, is yeah, you can have that available as a pre-order bundle for the game, but also have them on standby. Just have them a launch day figure, like they're only available at launch or something. But make them available for people who just want the regular game and the figure, or just want the figure, because there are people who only collect troopers or they're trooper completionists. Which even on eBay right now, these figures are only going for like $30-$40. Like they're not going for that high of a markup. But yeah, It's a
It's building some goodwill. Like I said, there's a lot of good word. Even Jim Sterling, which is somebody that see Cody, he's got the trooper hookup.
yeah.
Phantom Menace, we like the toys we like, and I do actually have like the Black Series Darth Vader. I don't have him out right now, but I thought it was a really good looking action figure, and I did. I bought it. I bought it on clearance at GameStop, but after I opened it up, I realized it actually was a pretty good toy. Hasbro can still make good shit.
Yeah, they definitely have the potential to make good shit, and
They have the talent. Yeah, so I can't fault Disney for giving products that customers want if they know they can make money off of it. Now, what I wanted to ask you guys is, now that we've illustrated a couple of things that Star Wars has done recently that we like, is Lucasfilm and Star Wars and Disney on the mend? Are they trying to win fans back, or is this a distraction from the impending doom that is about to become Episode 9?
Distraction.
Say
This,
yes,
is,
no.
this is a weapon of mass.
These are distraction tactics. Let's
Right.
talk about it. Let's
Right
talk about it.
now, is it on the mend? It's like putting a band-aid on a broken arm. Like, they're trying.
Yep.
They've done so much damage. It's going to take a long time to reestablish that goodwill with the fans.
This is the part where you take the cake that says "at least you tried," and then you just go and throw it in the wastebasket.
Yeah.
From The Simpsons.
Now, is it a distraction? Absolutely. Like, they know Episode 9 is going to be a dumpster fire, and there's going to be a huge amount of backlash. But while it's a distraction, it could also be like, hey, we know Episode 9 is going to be really bad, but look, we're listening, we're changing. This is what we're going to start doing now. Or, Episode 3 of Mandalorian could just they just built up. Like, I could finish this game.
You're beep booping out a little bit there, Sal. We lost you, brother.
Beep boop.
I'm going to acknowledge the chat real quick while he beep boops back in.
All right.
Leo Red, let's see. Go back to Leakalex7 says the collaborators do. I doubt casual fans and SJWs do. Oh, there he is. And there he goes. All right. Twizzlers taste like candle wax. I don't know what that means. I'm glad this game didn't turn out to be exactly
Twizzlers
like
are
Dark
delicious.
Souls. That was my big fear. It did alongside MXT. I'm with you. Dark Souls. I tried it, and that was a whole lot of nope. Just nope. Just keep Andrew Wilson and Blake Jorgensen away from this game. It should turn out okay. Yeah. Sorry, you beep booped out a little bit there. We were talking about the distraction. Are all these distraction tech? Because we remember they were trying to do this when Solo came out, because they knew that movie was going to bomb, and they started announcing stuff like, "Hey, would you guys like an Obi-Wan movie? What about a Yoda prequel? How about a Mandalorian movie directed by James Mangold," which is what became this series that we're watching right now. We've seen these distraction techniques before. We're wised up to that shit. It's not going to work. I mean, we do like these things, but you can't stop now. All right. Episode 9 could just as easily derail all this goodwill in a heartbeat.
See, that's kind of what I was saying when I was beep booping, was that I feel like that, yes, this is a distraction because they know Episode 9 is going to be this horrible dumpster fire. But it could also be like, hey, because we know this is going to be awful, here's the new direction of Star Wars that we're going to try and take it in. Like, this could be a precursor of things to come. But, when I was beep booping, I also said that, Episode 3 of Mandalorian comes out on Friday, and I'm only halfway through this game, so between now and Friday, everything could change. Like, all the goodwill could be gone because maybe Episode 3 changes the whole tone of Mandalorian, and I might play something coming up in this game that makes me hate it. So,
yeah, you're not through the game. We're not through the Mandalorian. It's like we see nuggets of greatness. It's like you're on the right path, but you got to keep going, man. Yeah, we're not ready to give you the pass yet.
and there's a point to be made, or an argument I've heard online, that this game and Mandalorian actually make people more angry at Star Wars and Disney as a whole, because it's proven that they know how to make and market and license good product.
They just don't want to.
They've known this whole time because no leadership has changed. So, but
isn't yeah, I mean, Kevin Feige wants to take over Star Wars. If we really discussed like how we feel about that, do we think he can fix things, or Cautiously optimistic.
No,
I don't think he can fix it. And you know how I am with the MCU, man. You know how I am with the MCU.
Religiously love the MCU.
And I'm that way with Star Wars too, but you know, it's hard to do that in this day and age. The Mandalorian's giving me a glimmer of hope. Like I said, until they make this Jedi Fallen Order game for either Nintendo 64 or PlayStation 2, I ain't playing it because I don't have a system newer than that. So, you know, I take it that from what you guys are saying, especially Sal with his, you know, talk about the game, that it's good. So this is a good product. The Mandalorian, like you said, unless episode 3 comes out, shits the bed. This is a good product headed in the right direction.
Could these be test products, maybe? Like just to see how if we can if it's even possible for the fans to react to something positively Star Wars that didn't fall off the fan train already. Oh, I want to acknowledge the chat real quick.
Chris
Ray's Double Dong says, "Can somebody explain?" Our friend Chris Wicks, hail Chris Wicks, hail Phantom Menace. Can someone explain to me why they would introduce a baby Yoda to the Mando, but he has no presence in the sequel trilogy?
Because he's dead.
He's dead.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Like, if we're seeing characters there that aren't in the sequel trilogy, then they're probably dead.
Yep.
So that's just the way. Like anytime you see a prequel movie and they're like, "Oh, this take like Rogue One," it's like, there's a lot of characters in here that aren't in episode 4. I wonder, and they're dead.
Yeah.
Here's another good comment from our good friend Alex. Says episode 9 won't derail Lucasfilm's goodwills. The critics bashing the fans afterwards will.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Because we're gonna get shit on, because if that movie holds to form with the end of it, with that leaked photo of Ray freaking Poppins and Jesus, Mary and Joseph jumped up Christ. If they really do that, and that is not fucking Ruin Johnson of the House of Roundhead directing that, then goddamn you, J.J. Abrams, you did take some inspiration from that round-headed soy sack of shit over there.
I love this guy. I do.
JJ shoved that penis nose right up Brian Johnson's little booty hole.
That's part of the thing too. Is I don't think people, at least me, trying to be an adult and bring an adult sense of mentality into all of this. You know, because some people don't. Some people just rage the fuck out because it's fun to do. But I would probably not be near as frustrated with Rian Johnson making a bad Star Wars movie. I'd probably pat him on the back, say, "Well, you fucked up."
Well, at least
he wasn't so smug about it.
Yep.
Well, that's the thing. Like the fandom probably wouldn't exist in the way that it does if it hadn't been for how Disney treated us not liking a movie.
Yep.
Like, because it was like, okay, like I didn't like a movie, whatever. I just was like, all right, I just won't see the next ones. But when all that shit started being said, being called a basement dwelling cousin humper, I was like, you know what? Stand by. And then just fucking double down.
These things didn't happen because, I mean, when episode 1 came out, we had the internet, we had message boards, we had chat rooms, some people AOL'd, whatever the fuck, but we didn't have Twitter, we didn't have Facebook, where people project more than they speak like normal people. And yeah, we'd argue about Jar Jar Binks, but we'd still agree that, hey, well, we still like Star Wars, we still like those other 3 movies, and a lot of stuff that's happened. You know, like I said, that 1, 2, 3 blow of bad movie, failed movie, and terrible video game all at the same time. That that whole boilerplate just knocked so many people out of being Star Wars fans. That I know a lot of people I've talked to that says I can't even watch the original movies anymore, and that's sad, man. You got to separate yourself from that shit.
I could never lose my love for
perfect example, man. Terminator. How many times they try to reboot that fucking mess? You know,
every subsequent sequel.
There's 2 movies. There's 2 movies that they're still there. I still have 2 versions of Blu-rays. I have an extended cut. I have a 4K. Well, actually, I got 3 4K, and then I've got the Skynet edition. Those aren't going anywhere. I still own them. They're not fucking going anywhere until that mouse comes in and pries them from my cold dead hands. They're not going anywhere. These movies that keep coming out, fine, keep making them. I'll show up. I'll review them. I'll tell you that they're terrible because I know they're going to be terrible. You know,
Leo Red's comment that Mary Poppins movie only works in the Guardians.
Right? Yeah. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
I just want to know why no one has taken that still image of her Mary Poppins to the Falcon and not put like Michael Jordan from Space Jam with his arm all reached out. Why they haven't put that there instead?
Meme challenge accepted, sir.
Yep.
Pete's already on it. Yep. He's
Ah,
already on it.
I will. I can do that. That's an easy one. I can do that.
Meme challenge accepted, sir. Yeah, I've mentioned this a couple times too. The fact that also under Disney, Guardians of the Galaxy, at least the first two, feel more Star Wars to me than some of the current iterations of it. Because at its heart, it's fun. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It has that kind of space camp, that kind of distant world that's familiar. It has likable characters. It has a cast of people that are amazing together. I mean, what do those tropes remind you of? A memorable cast, heroes, villains,
No, one of the things I've realized watching Guardians is that you listen to the spaceships and the sounds they make. Dude, it sounds just like fucking Star Wars ships, dude.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Guardians 2, when Gamora is getting chased by Nebula in the ship and she's making that roundabout to go back to the shooter. Bro, that's a fucking Star Wars ship.
I was one of the ones I was really on board with. I was like, hey, let the guy that directed the Guardians movies, let him do a Star. This was prior to all the crap that came out with him, and I'm not going to get into all that.
I'd still let him do it.
Yeah, at this point, I
think
he gets how Star Wars works. And his
No.
movies feel a lot more Star Wars than like Brick or Looper did.
No, I'm not to talk about James Gunn. I won't defend or say that what he said was okay.
Yeah.
Groove, the being in the line of work, having been in the same line of work that I'm in, the humor is very spicy at work, so I didn't think it was that bad. But you got to think, that stuff was said 10 years ago when people weren't so sensitive.
Yes.
At that time, he was heavily involved in and working with Troma Films.
Yes, and I've seen a lot of the Troma films, and if you've ever watched one Troma film, then you know exactly where his Troma Films is what Pete and I want to get into. All right, we want to make
Toxic
stuff like
Avengers
that.
style shit.
Toxic Avengers, wonderful fucking movie, beautiful, wonderful. Nukem High, fucking love those movies.
Oh, Nukem High.
So that's the thing. If you don't know what Troma Films is, go watch Troma Films. And you're like, oh wow, that stuff was like kindergarten compared to what he was saying, or what you know what I mean. Flip that. What he was saying is kindergarten compared to what Troma Films does. They're purposely offensive, gory, nudity. It's extreme cinema. So it's not as bad as a Serbian film.
Oh Jesus! I refuse to watch a Serbian film. I have my limitations, man. I like the bad movies, but I'm not going to stare directly into the abyss like that. Leo Red says, so James Gunn to direct the next Star Wars trilogy? No. What I think Star Wars should do, its best play right now, and I've seen nuggets of this just based on the reactions I'm getting from all you guys on The Mandalorian that have seen it. Don't announce another trilogy. Don't do another trilogy. Make another standalone movie. Take cues from the Joker. Make something original in a universe that we recognize.
Now, here, let me run this idea by you. So keep in mind, I'm going to say some things because it's Disney and I know how they're going to operate. So this Yoda prequel that they rumored forever ago. What if they did a Yoda prequel movie where it's not him as a Padawan, but he's a Jedi Master, not quite on the council yet, but he's younger, more agile, and does flashbacks of him, intermittent of him being trained as a Padawan. You get to learn who his master was and their dynamic. But throughout the movie, his Padawan is Mace Windu. Mace Windu is played by Michael B. Jordan. Because Michael B. Jordan is, Disney oriented, so they're just going to cast him. But how does that idea tickle your taint?
I wouldn't mind that as long as we get some Dooku in there too, because he was heavily involved with Yoda at that time.
Oh yeah, I would.
Honestly, I'm going to go a little bit farther off the rails. I don't want characters that I know. It's okay if you use like you mentioned, Trandashans or however you pronounce their name.
I think it's Trans.
I call them. I've been calling them Trandashans for years. So if I said it wrong, sorry.
I don't know. I have no idea.
But take species, robots, things that we recognize. I want to see movies with characters that aren't connected to the characters that we know, or younger versions or prequels. I want completely different. That's one of the things that I did like about Rogue One was those characters belonged in that universe, but they weren't necessarily related to the characters from the original films. They were just part of the story.
You had connecting threads.
Right. More stuff, more original movies like that. For Rogue One came out to me like Force 10 from Navarone or The Guns of the Navarone. It as a Star Wars movie. I like that. That's kind of one of the things why Joker was so famous. It's Taxi Driver in a DC setting.
Mhm.
It's Taxi Driver and it's the Kings of Comedy in a DC setting. And that's what Marvel did to make themselves so famous. I mean, you look at something like Captain America, the First Avenger, that's essentially the Rocketeer, or even a G.I. Joe movie kind of wrapped into a Marvel universe. It's a war movie, you know? So it's a total throwback war movie in that setting.
Speaking of the Rocketeer, did you see they've made that into a cartoon? They made that into a cartoon. It's on Disney because my kid watches like Disney Junior, and they're like advertising the show The Rocketeer, and I'm looking and now it's like a little girl. I was just like, that's not the Rocketeer I remember, but okay, whatever. If you want to introduce it to it,
I was going to say, are the people that you're advertising to even going to know who the hell the Rocketeer is? Because I'm going to be honest with you, I'm aware of a movie called The Rocketeer. I'm aware of what it's about. I've seen videos about it. I've never actually seen The Rocketeer because I can never find it to stream.
I tell you what, Pete. Why not, instead of doing all that, why don't you just queue up The Rocketeer on Disney Plus and let him watch that?
I'm going to.
There you go.
I'm going to, because he doesn't watch that show. He was just kind of like, I was like, because he doesn't, my 4-year-old doesn't know who the Rocketeer is. So, I was like, well, we're
even
the
Rocketeer, the Rocketeer is a throwback to the old serials that used to be shown in front of old movies. Commando Cody is the one I'm thinking of. Or I used to wear a jetpack and fly around. He had the helmet like the Rocketeer did.
Mm-hmm.
Kids ain't gonna know what the hell that's referencing. No. It's a throwback thing, which even Star Wars, to most extent, is a throwback to serials as well. It's kind of a tribute to Flash Gordon, So right down to the opening crawl, man. The exact same angle that the opening crawl used to come is directly from the Flash Gordon serials. But I think this is a combination. I think it's mostly a distraction, but also I think they're testing the waters to see if fans are even going to be receptive, like whether they should just put the whole franchise on ice and let it mellow. You know what I mean? Or can they still make money off of these fans?
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think?
I think it's a distraction.
Just a total distraction altogether. Like they're not going to let go of the franchise. And we lost Sal. He'll be back.
He'll be back.
He'll be back.
No, I think it's just they know how fucking bad the Rise of Skywalker is, but I don't think they care. It's more of if they're going to be able to please Bob Iger.
So you think that the Rise of Skywalker is just going to be at least if there's any truth to the leaks. Now the problem I have with the leaks is that I've heard many leaks, and they're kind of all over the place. I mean, some of them line up with what we've seen so far, some of them don't. But do you suppose that the Rise of Skywalker is just a big final fuck you to the fans? Like, you don't really care what you think anymore?
Of course.
Okay.
No, I haven't seen any of The Mandalorian. Like I said, it's hard to bum it off people when they keep wanting to fucking watch it. So that's my fault. I know I should buy it. Anyways, besides the point. Besides the point. Anyways, Mandalorian looks interesting. I'll watch it at some point. I might watch it now. I might just wait till the show's already all out.
Yeah, I kind of want to marathon it at all.
I want to marathon it personally, but I mean, if it's that good, I'll
also they're sneaky with that too. They know exactly what they're. Disney knows how to get your last dollar. They're going to drip feed that shit out because you get a 7-day trial. But you're not going to watch all the Mandalorian because we know damn well you're gonna do your 7 days, marathon that shit, and bounce right back out again.
It could be worse. They could be doing a mid-season break and breaking it up by like 4 months. I hate that shit.
Walking Dead.
Yeah. I know why that happens now, but I still don't like it.
No, I don't like it either. Yeah,
I don't
like. I see what you're doing, and I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a pain in the ass. We're about ready to do that with Walking Dead right now. It's the mid-season finale, so you get a couple months without an episode, and that was their whole idea with the Mandalorian was do we want to release it all at once, or do we want to kind of like IV drip feed it to you guys? And I prefer this because I still got to do my episode. I'm just going to do episodes 2 and 3 together in a review, but to do a whole season review like that, to review every episode, it takes so much time to put together a comprehensive review, especially of a show like that, that to do like an entire season would
You almost have to sit down and write an outline and then just cover the
Yep.
highlights at that point.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think Lucasfilm's also like they're releasing it week by week just so they can take notes on the fan reaction. It's like,
Yep.
okay, they have a whole checklist. Like, all right, they like that, they like this, they don't like this. Okay, let's not do
Okay,
this
that's
music
that's
anymore.
another interesting thing. So this stuff going on with the Mandalorian, and
Do you think?
Mhm.
And it may.
especially the Mandalorian is test marketing for what they should do with
It's beta testing, absolutely.
okay.
It may be testing it for the reshoots for the Rise of Skywalker.
because they obviously don't want another Last Jedi. They're never going to come out and acknowledge,
I
hey, we
personally think
blew
they
it.
do, but that's just me.
We wish they would, but we're
Yeah.
not going to get that lucky. The best that
Yeah.
we can
Right.
do is to watch them course correct, and we wouldn't be doing what we do, guys, if we didn't care. If we
This
didn't
movie's
want it
going
to
to be worse
better.
than The Last Jedi.
Yeah, if
I think so.
there's any truth to the leaks, I mean, I'm already like really put off by it, but I don't think that there's anything wrong with me being put off by it. I mean,
No.
they went way out of their way to throw me away as a fan. They wanted to somehow replace a fan base, which makes no
Mhm.
sense to me.
That
It's
doesn't-
like
you can't do that. It doesn't work.
multi-generational modern day myth, and you want to replace its fan base with a new fan base.
That doesn't care.
It's like starting a religion, and then after you build the church, be like, all right, all you fuckers that built the whole church,
Get out.
see ya.
Get out. Yep. It's like
Yeah.
all you Baptists, get out. Presbyterians, get in here.
That'd be like the Pope coming out tomorrow, being like, you know what? God's out. Flying spaghetti monster, you're in.
Flying spaghetti monster.
I've been waiting for the Flying Spaghetti Monster's ascension.
Me too,
His
dude.
noodly
Yeah.
appendage.
We'll have a party when he finally shows.
Flying Spaghetti Monster party.
Him and Cthulhu
Send-
2020. Yeah.
Send those nudes. Send those nudes.
Hashtag push the button. It's me, Harvey Cthulhu.
Ladies and gentlemen, Conway Twitty.
Hello, darling.
God dang it.
Just for you, Coach.
I'd rather do my
Oh.
Doomcock impression. Hang on, I'll turn my camera off. It's more. Greetings, Dominions and Doomentites. It is I, the future ruler of Earth, Dicta Van Doomcock. I am joined by my friend Harvey Cthulhu. Harvey, say hello. Hi, Doomcock. Remember, hashtag push the button, TM. There's my Doomcock for the night. That's what.
Leo Red says, "How about SJW's counting how many times you see a female in each episode?" Yeah, you know what? Hey, it's hate watching, right? They're watching.
Yep.
It's just so. It's just like the people that watch. I did a video about Disney Plus hiding the 4K Star Wars behind their streaming service, which kind of pisses me off. But I also found out later that they are eventually going to release those physically, and when they do, I'll buy them. I will buy Star Wars on 4K for sure. I want them. I want them on 4K. I know my money's going to the mouse, but if you're giving me products that I want, I don't care.
Yeah,
You know
that's-
what I mean?
So is that bringing us to our next topic?
Yes. Let's get
Okay,
into that.
absolutely. This is if you're sensitive or your feelings might get hurt, then this might be about you.
I like the sound of this.
You had my attention. Now you have my interest.
Yes. Go ahead and kick us off there, Groove.
So we covered, is it cool to just hate on Star Wars, or just is it cool to hate on Star Wars just to hate now? Is that where we're at? Or are we going into the future, the fandom menace in the wake of Rise of Skywalker?
Well, we were, I guess we'll continue on that first topic. So we're talking about hating on Star Wars for no reason kind of thing, like, or I guess it kind of steamrolls into the future of the fandom menace and kind of what it is now and everything. So I guess I'll make my talking point on it. The fandom menace is a loosely connected group of people. Anyone can declare themselves as fandom menace. And it's mostly just people who are passionate about whatever, whether it be Star Wars, Terminator, Doctor Who, any franchise that's been turned upside down and flipped around to appease people who are not part of the fan base. And it seems like there's this. It's becoming more anti-mouse than anything else, and at the core of it, we just want good Star Wars. We don't care who makes it. Like,
Right.
if Disney does a heel turn and just is like, you know what, we fucked up from now on, this is that. Don't worry about those other movies. I'll remember what they did, but I'll be like, you know what, good for you. Thank you for fixing yourself. Like, it's more important to me that Star Wars return to what it was and become good again.
Well, just throw me something interesting. Case in point, I was immediately disinterested in Star Wars when I found out that Lucas sold to Disney. I was like, oh, God. But then again, I'm thinking, well, if you're going to sell to somebody, at least you sell into the company that has all of the money right now.
Mm-hmm.
So then all of a sudden, right away, like not even a year later, it's like, yep, we got a script. I'm like, that fast? I'm like, George Lucas was working on the Phantom Menace script like in pre-production. Like he was literally sitting in a room writing while people were out there painting his models and shit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, you have one already. Okay, that's kind of weird. What they got me with was the concept art. Like when the concept art started leaking out and I saw those drawings of like the melted Darth Vader face and the walker like laying on its side and all that, I was like, oh, wow, that's cool. That's cool shit. And that first trailer, that seemed like cool shit too. You know, it's like, okay, Falcon's back, Han and Chewie are back in what they sold that movie on was practical special effects because they a lot of people Disney somehow decided that what we didn't like about prequel Star Wars was it was too much CGI.
Yeah,
that wasn't the case. I mean, it's part of it, but it wasn't the only thing that we didn't like about the prequels. You could talk about some really bad dialogue and some strange casting choices, you know, but they sold it on practical effects. What we didn't realize is that we were going to get an identical remake of A Force Awakens. We didn't know that. We didn't expect that.
You know, what people forget is that George Lucas created CGI. Like, what is it, Industrial Light and Magic?
Yep.
Created that. Like, that's why it was used so heavily. Like, if we didn't have that much CGI in those movies, we wouldn't have the movies that we have today. So
he's the spearhead. He's the father of that because he created that company in order to design special effects for his visions.
Mm-hmm.
Now, were they used everywhere else? Oh yeah, but you know, if you're the best job and if you're the best guy in town to do the job, of course, there's no job's too small for Lucas Industrial Light or ILM, I should say. But my thing is just give me anything that's good. You know, I'm not saying I'm going to give you a pass. I'm not going to say we're going to kiss and make up. You know, because they're never going to come out and say they're sorry.
Yeah.
The Last Jedi is always going to exist, and there's always going to be some idiots out there defending it. But yeah, you give me something that's interesting, I'll come back. And we say this on our channels over and over and over again. If the trailers suck, what are we supposed to expect from the movie? It's like you go into a grocery store and you sample this new flavor of Hot Pocket or whatever, and you take a bite of it and it tastes like dog shit. Are you going to buy a whole box of it? No. You're going to say, no, thank you. Spit that out in a napkin, walk away and forget about it. That's what we're getting at. Show us something good. We have not seen anything good in the two trailers that have come out, only two, mind you, one of which is 50% member berries. The other one is, what the fuck? Space horsies.
Nothing. Space horses. And in those leaks,
more head scratchers than The Last Jedi. I was scratching my head.
They talked about that in the leaks about those space horses and that crew right there. And that's, what's her name? Naomi Aki's crew. I can't remember her character's name, but, they disable that Star Destroyer, you know, in their little cavalry charge there with their fucking space horses. And I don't understand why, you know,
something about Matt Smith playing a younger version of Palpatine.
Oh, well, he's
I saw that coming fucking.
He's a clone, and apparently in Return of the Jedi, Palpatine.
So we're gonna redo Dark Empire.
Yep, the EU is decanonized, but when Disney wants to cherry pick, they'll go right over there and they'll be like, oh wait, here's clone Palpatine, Dark Empire.
Right. Here's a hard pill to swallow. I'm gonna be honest with you. I read Dark Empire. I thought it was trash. Not one of my favorite books. I don't like it. I know some people do. I wasn't a fan of it. I got
the figures.
I didn't like the story. It felt very forced. It just felt like a way to make some toys. Yeah. very forced.
But no, they
But-
talked about that Matt Smith character getting killed. Like Ray kills him like right away, and Palpatine just like does this little laugh and shit, and it's
Mhm.
and she kills him by deflecting his force lightning. I'm like, didn't we already see this once before?
You know, I really liked Matt Smith as Doctor Who.
Unlimited power.
yeah.
I know I'm in minority, but I actually liked Matt Smith as Doctor Who. I did.
No, I liked him too. I didn't
I
like
didn't
him.
watch. I don't watch Doctor Who. So.
I didn't like him as much as David Tennant. But
No,
I did like him.
if you had to choose between the two, I'm definitely part of the David Tennant camp. But yeah, I ever since it seems like ever since he stopped playing Doctor Who, the poor guy just hasn't found his slot,
niche.
his
Yeah.
niche. Yeah, because David Tennant has done very well post Doctor Who.
Mhm.
Not so much Matt Smith, but yeah, if they're doing the clone shit, it just feels so lazy, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Like using these clones were made and they've been hiding all this time. Like, come on, man.
What they don't seem to remember is that you can't clone a Jedi successfully. Like the midichlorians, like you can't clone them successfully. Like you can't make a clone body.
They're midi-clonians.
Yeah, exactly. But we bring this up because as of late, there have been rumblings on Facebook and people hating on the Phantom Menace themselves because
Starting shit.
because we like the Mandalorian or we like Fallen Order, and it's like we don't just hate blindly. Like that's what the opposition does. They hate because
There are probably some people in this group that do, but
Mm-hmm.
I can say comfortably, knowing you guys and working with you guys as much as I do, that us four do not do that.
no,
And we went out of our way to illustrate that we like things.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. Like they say, without respect, we reject X, Y, and Z, which is true. But we vote with our wallets. Like I back and I support the things that I like, and then I don't support the things that I don't like. Like it's that simple. Like it's kind of like putting out a buffet of food, and because you don't like the restaurant owner, I'm not going to eat any of the food. Well, how am I going to know what's good? Like if you don't like the mashed potatoes, but you're not eating the steak or the carrots or the green beans, then how do I know what you do like so I can make more of that?
Right.
It's a business. Like this.
I'm not opposed to them, floating ideas out there to see what fans like and what they don't. It's a lot of this feels to me like Favreau and Filoni are saying, "Hey, look, let's try this and let's see how they react to it, and then you can go from there. You can borrow from this as much as you want to. Maybe those guys actually care about it. Maybe they want to fix it. Maybe they realize if they lip off too much, they can lose their job and they'll be done. Maybe they actually care about it. Honestly, nobody knows, but yeah, I'm with the camp that if they give us something that we like, I'll support the things that I like. I'm not going to just blindly support. There's this disconnect that the people think that you just like Star Wars because you see that logo and you instantly like it.
Right.
We proved that wrong over the last several years now. Okay. Mountains of toys, probably even worse than Atari for ET, that they're never going to get rid of. Just mountains of them that they're on clearance in clearance stores. I mean,
every
shit.
every store I go to, and I go toy hunting frequently. Every store that I go to, every toy section has Snoke, Jyn Erso, and Rey still on clearance almost 3 years later.
Yep.
I mean, they are bad toys too because they were made with like almost zero articulation, but mostly they're just not interesting characters. They're not fun toys to look at or play with, or they don't even look good in the package. The packaging was pretty lame for The Last Jedi. I mean, but point that we're getting at is there's a lot of people that are starting these fights like, oh, well, now all of a sudden you like this thing. So what? Everything's just okay now? Like you just suddenly forgot? Oh, hell no, we didn't forget. We went out of our way to tell you we did not forget. The internet never forgets.
We saw that shit the other day. Remember arguing with people, calling them a beta and a cuck because you like the Mandalorian and now you're sucking the mouse's D. It's like, no, man,
There's a lot of that in a lot of groups.
If I see something that I like, I'm gonna watch it. Like I said, I shit on Disney Star Wars a lot, man, but I'm a Marvel fan. I talk shit about the MCU going woke, but I'm still a goddamn fan. And if it's something I like, I'm gonna watch. Like I'm gonna be there opening night watching Black Widow. There's a lot of nasty rumors going around that Phantom Menace is falling apart, people losing interest and all that. It's not so much that, it's just that, and Pete and I have talked about this ad nauseum. USL a little bit too, and Cody works a lot, so we talk when we can. But it's
we can only bitch about the same thing so much
Yep.
to where we just can't stand it anymore.
Right. It's beating that dead horse. It's you know, it's been popping up more and more and more, and it's I want to ask these people. It's like, what is your end game here? Like,
Yep.
what is your actual goal now? Like, are you just
Yes.
like, why are you here? Like, we're here because we want to see Star Wars be good again. Again, we don't care who makes it. And, you know, if Disney is pulling their heads out of their asses and making good Star Wars, I'm going to give them the respect that,
Yep.
hey, you've listened we've achieved what we set out to do.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you just continue to hate, why are you here? Like, what's really bothering you at the root of all of this?
Yep. Are you what it's like, are they what people are claiming they are? Are you that, you know, all you want to do is be a man baby?
Right.
People like that.
And something else I've noticed too, because I follow a lot of these guys in the Fandom Menace, and I see their channels, and I as a YouTuber, we pay attention to our sub counts. We pay attention to each other's sub counts. I see a lot of these bigger channels that are not growing because I think a lot of it is just these guys are watching each other. They're bitching to each other about the same things. You know, there's no growth in this. I've noticed it on my channel. In fact, this is people watching this video right now live. This is all Star Wars talk you're going to get out of me ever again, because I know if I make 2 or 3 more videos about Star Wars, nobody going to look at them.
Mm-hmm.
The only guys that are going to look at them is probably these 4 guys here, or us. You know, the 3 guys. Maybe I'll look at my own video. I'm not that freaking conceited, but you know, I'm just saying, Star Wars is not a popular topic on my channel. If I do a Star Wars video, nobody watches it. People are just disinterested in that franchise altogether. They've abandoned a lot of people. They've just moved on. They're not interested in episode 9. They don't really care what I have to say about it. So I can bitch about these things all day long until the sun comes up. Nobody's going to watch it. So I'm not abandoning the Fandom Menace. It's just I got to give my audience what they want.
Right.
And they don't just come to watch me bitch about Star Wars. They want to see me bitch about everything else.
That's like a good example of that is when in college, I was a music major, and all the time there were people that were like, well, I want to be in a band and I want to play this kind of music. Like, I don't know, we'll say they wanted to play in a rock band or something. It's like, well, you're not really good at rock. You're good at like jazz. So play what you're good at and you'll succeed. Like, you can always do what you want on the side, but if you're trying to make money or you're trying to like build your audience or whatever, you got to give your audience what they want. Disney, you should listen to that.
Right. So people are ready. They want to move on to new things. And I think a lot of the people that are not bitching about this kind of stuff as much, they realize that there's no growth in it. And it's like the choir preaching to itself, and they want to move on. They want to find things that people actually are interested in. Cause I don't think that we're just, it's all doom and gloom. Cause I've seen some movies recently towards the end of this year that got me really excited. Movies that are doing well at the box office, that are original standalone movies, not stuff full of CGI, not following the Marvel formula with, you know, big A-list actors in them. I mean, I'm a movie guy. So people that subscribe to my channel want to see movies. I believe that there are better movies are coming because people are paying for those movies now. They're wanting to break out of the formula. Star Wars, even though it pretends to be different and chasing a new audience, is still doing a lot of the same things that they did from day one. They're mostly, a lot of these new movies, new Star Wars movies, feel like it's trying to chase a Marvel formula, especially when they were doing Solo and Rogue One. Everything was interconnected, and it's like, oh, stop this now. You know, it's like,
don't do that.
Yeah, it's like, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
You're going to a place where I can't follow.
Right?
Yeah. Don't die because you're sad, Pat. I hope Padme dies when she's sad is Lady Thor. There, I said it. Jesus, we won't get into that tonight.
Wow.
Well,
Kevin Thor, Love and Legumes.
Kevin Thor. Yep, that's Thor 4. Kevin Thor, Love and Legumes, where we watch Lady Thor Fiddler Bean. I don't know. But no, seriously, like,
no, that thing's a green bean at this point. Let's be honest.
So
Yeah,
I can't speak for the entire Phantom Menace, but I think that a lot of the bigger channels, they have to stop and think, you know, do I want to grow this out more? Do I want to think about the future? Or do I just want to go to my next bitching about Star Wars video. I don't think that the people that we follow are really part of that. I think they want something good because most of the people that we follow, they actually like The Mandalorian. Not everybody's played Jedi Fallen Order, but all the people that I know that have, like Sal, are saying good things about the game. You know, we're seeing a lot more classic toys coming out. I think they're trying to take us back to Star Wars roots.
That brings me to a point I was going to make earlier that I completely forgot. I think it was while I was beep booping. What also, just to go back to that figure really quick about what also it represents in this game, is that we're fast approaching a year where there's no movie for Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to see a lot of that going back, like even for prequels right now, or for pre-order right now, is a lot of prequel era characters. So because we're moving away from movies, because up until a certain point, all the Black Series, all the vintage collection, it's been like one or two, like a Hoth Trooper maybe, or a Stormtrooper, and it's been all movie characters because that's what they're pushing right now.
Right, a lot of Rey, a lot of Finn, and nobody buying that. Yeah.
Since we're moving away from the movies, because this is the last one, quote unquote, we're gonna see a resurgence in original trilogy characters and figures and prequel trilogy characters.
And that's worth being excited about, man.
Yeah.
I've got multiple versions of figures. Hey, if they can do something cool with it, I'm on board.
But a lot of people, I think, right now in the fandom aren't looking at the long game. They have their blinders up. They're looking at Rise of Skywalker only. Yep. They're not looking at what lies beyond. And the future of the fandom, I think it's still going to be there. Like, as long as pop culture is a thing, and even if they course correct and everything's on the straight and narrow and we're back to being happy, we're still going to be here, but we're going to be praising. And we're going to be looking forward. We're going to be doing theories. We're going to be doing analysis. Like, we're still going to be here, and we're not, a collective.
I miss the days where we were just speculating, like enthusiastically speculating about what's going to happen next. Like, oh man, like I don't know about you. I know you guys, not all you guys like The Force Awakens, but I was like, man, who is Rey? Who is Snoke? Where are they going to go with this? Is Luke going to train Rey? I miss those discussions, man. I miss when that was the discussion.
Instead, we just argue about who's in which one of the Lucasfilm writers or underlings is attacking the fans for what now.
Yeah, who's accusing who of what? That's
how bad are the leads.
So much time focusing on who's accusing who of what. It gets tiresome, man. It really.
Back in my day, we just listened to Abbott and Costello argue about who was on first.
Back in my day, all we did was make fun of what a piece of shit Jar Jar Binks was. That motherfucker ruined an entire franchise. What are you talking about, Rey?
But I say, if you want to do some speculation, if you're okay with Mandalorian spoilers, I can tell you what I think they're going to do with this, the series after this.
I'm interested.
Go for it. Yeah.
All right. So mild spoilers for episode 1 mostly. So episode 1, the target is the Yoda baby, and IG-11, which is Taco Tuesday's character, which was actually really good. So I really liked that character. I'm actually going to go buy the figure tomorrow, probably. So the IG-11 has a separate contract, and he's like, well, mine says that they want this target brought in dead. Not Boba Fett says that his is being brought in alive. You hear a blaster go off, then you see IG-11's corpse go bonk and fall down. I mean, he's a droid, so they can just upload him into a new body, which I think they'll end up doing. But so he saves the baby. Now, the thing to think about is that IG-11 was hired by the Guild to hunt down Yoda baby, not a personal contract. So he's now officially killed an active Guild member on Guild orders. So I think the Guild is going to send bounty hunters after him. That's who I think Bill Burr's character is going to be, a bounty hunter sent after the Mandalorian. So there's that. And I think that his conscience is going to get the better of him, and that he's not going to be able to hand over the baby. And so now the Empire and the Guild are going to be after him. So it's going to be a lone wolf protecting a cub throughout the rest of the series. How's that tickle your taint?
I think that sounds actually good. And I think you're probably going to hit it on the nose there. That's it would make sense though. So I don't know if, but given the direction of the show thus far, it seems to make sense. Mm-hmm. So that's plausible.
You
man.
know, it is possible to completely screw up a franchise and fix it. I mean, perfect example is DCU, man. I mean, look at them. They own the box office with Joker right now. And you know how they did that? They took $55 million and made an original script, original idea, not connected to anything else. Wow, what a concept, right? You mean an old-fashioned movie with a story and good acting?
So they've got
Something that was
Aquaman.
not rated PG-13. They had to, appeal to 15 different demographics assembled by a committee. Wow.
Aquaman just broke $1 billion. Joker broke $1
Aquaman,
billion.
it is possible to fix these things. I mean, we're not going to jump up and down praise Disney, but hey, DC did it. If they can do it, anybody can do it. Warner Brothers has done it before. It is possible. I think it is possible for Star Wars to make good products again if you put the right people in charge and give them some free reign, but the right people in charge, not your Ryan Johnsons. Okay. I heard somebody mention that. It was one of the guys from Midnight's Edge had mentioned that on the High Council. He said, Rob, I think it was, no, not Rob.
Tom
mentioned it. He says, they shouldn't have had a Ryan Johnson. It should have been like you should have had Ron Howard and Robert Zemeckis, and Spielberg should have been doing Star Wars movies. Like the seasoned veterans should have been doing this, not these new people.
So that's where it comes down to money. Because, and I've said this about animation too, because if you look at the quality of animation, so a lot of people talk about, the X-Men cartoon and, Spider-Man and I don't know, fucking Mask, Transformers, what have you, and how the animation was so much better back then. Well, a lot of that was outsourced to studios in Japan because at the time, Japanese cartoons weren't really being aired over here, so it was cheaper to pay them. Well, after they kind of realized their worth, they upped their price, and studios over here were like, let's just pay a bunch of college kids that don't know what they're missing and can't really paint that well or draw that well, and that'll just be new animation, and that's what it's boiled down to. Now with computers doing most of the work, it's even cheaper. So
what you and I would refer to as junior Birdmen doing the job.
Right. Yeah. And it comes down to that profit margin. If they can keep the costs low and get that ad revenue from commercials high, that's good for business. It keeps it going longer. So sometimes you'll sacrifice quality for quantity, which is never a good thing. Like a good example of that. I don't know if anyone here has seen The Haunting of Hill House on Netflix.
Yep. Yes. Watch the whole thing.
Out fucking standing. I love that whole
good stuff.
Great show.
And it's only one season. They're cutting it at that. Boom.
It's like watching one extended movie. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
it has a payoff. It has a middle and a beginning and an end, and it's well paced. I want to acknowledge Linkolex real quick. Said, we want to be happy. We'd rather have no Star Wars over bad Star Wars, but we'd also rather have good Star Wars over no Star Wars.
This is true.
Yes,
very well
absolutely,
put,
man.
Yeah, that's
excellent point.
That's how Thumper said, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. Just like Disney, if you can't make good Star Wars, don't make it.
You can bring me back if you bring me back with a good idea. Like I said, I liked Rogue One. I wanted more of that. If you start doing more of that, I'm interested. Like Pete said, Mandalorian's like a Western. Oh, hell, I love Westerns.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a Western.
Star Wars borrows heavily from Westerns anyway. So you've got a wealth of stories that you can borrow from. That you can make something decent, and it just all it takes is somebody with a vision, but more importantly, figure out what fans want and give them what they want, and they'll come. They'll spend the money. They'll come back. Yeah,
I think Favreau and Filoni have their finger on the pulse of that because they truly do love Star Wars, and Favreau is really instrumental in orchestrating the MCU at the very beginning.
Now, my biggest fear with Favreau though is Favreau really wanting to actually remake Star Wars. I'm not talking about Force Awakens. I mean A New Hope, like remake A New Hope shot for shot.
Yeah, no.
And that maybe The Lion King is a test for that to see if they can pull it off.
It's in the original contract that they cannot remake the original Star Wars movies.
Okay. Will they find a loophole to get around that? Because I also remember, and that was something we kind of haven't talked about, is, I also remember that Disney Plus was not allowed to stream the original Star Wars movies. Like that belonged to Turner. And now all of a sudden, there they are in 4K.
Yeah, I think what they did, I'm sure there may be a loophole, like maybe they couldn't stream them in Blu-ray quality, but they could stream them in 4K, or my understanding is that they'd actually just bought the rights outright from Turner, and that's why Disney Plus isn't going to make money for, I think they said 5 years, and then they'll break even. So they're hemorrhaging money at the moment.
Well,
I mean, nothing's new for them in terms of Disney hemorrhaging money.
That's how that goes. That's all I got to say about that. I can't say I feel sorry for you. You know, you put so much into the streaming war, and we've talked about that ad nauseum. But yeah, I think we pretty much wrapped up the Star Wars thing. What do you guys think? You guys got anything you want to add to Phantom Menace or Star Wars, or where you want it to go? Or
the only thing I have to say for Disney Star Wars is devil's advocate for Disney at the jump. I've said this before, but I feel like them making a sequel trilogy was dead from the jump. Like, there's no way that they could have done, because if making the ones that they made, you know, obviously we hate seeing our older characters be, you know, put in the background and killed off unceremoniously. But if they'd done the opposite and set it 5 years after and recast everybody, then it would have been more of a fan outrage. So I think that, you know, keeping with what we'd said earlier, if they just made the Rogue Ones and made Mandalorian and not touched original characters, that would have been a safer bet.
right, quit doubling down on stupid ideas. You know, this culture war is kind of it's going in a direction you can't stop it. You know, I think a lot of this stuff that was put into motion back in 2015 or 2016 is kind of starting to wear itself out. I can't say it's going to happen overnight, but I definitely see a change in the currents of what is popular and what isn't now.
Yeah. And one final caveat or thought, I guess, recent news in the Phantom Menace is that our Uncle Ethan, EVS, has stepped down from the High Council. So that happened last night, and wish him success in his future endeavors. And just speaking about the future of the Phantom Menace, the High Council will continue to be on WCBS proper every Tuesday, and I think that looks like a chink in the armor to some people, but it's just simply growing. You know, rock bands change members all the time.
True.
People get recast. How many times have we had a new James Bond? We've had people
that was how they said it too. It's like, you know, there's still, it's like sometimes you have Timothy Dalton, sometimes you have Roger Moore, sometimes you have Pierce Brosnan, but there's always James Bond.
Right. So
that's the way they look at it. No, there's no animosity between those guys that I know of. I do know that for sure Ethan has always been more Comicsgate than he was Phantom Menace. I think he just he loves Star Wars. He had something to say about it, and I think Ethan, I'm not going to speak for Ethan because I don't know, but if he feels like I do, he feels like he's said everything there is to say about it. And he's just not interested in where it wants to go. And anything else you say at this point, it's like you're just
repeating.
You're bitching for clicks.
Well,
you know, that's all it comes down to.
Comicsgate's kind of a hot mess right now anyway.
Yes, it is. And that's his bread and butter. That's his career. That's his world. You know, if that was his, you know, my world is Miami Connection. You know what I mean? Samurai Cop. That's my world. There's nothing to bitch about there. I love these terrible movies. You know,
Fast Ticket to Hawaii.
I look at like the Phantom Menace. Like we don't have generals where, you know, it really does. It's not like that. Like you said, we're loosely.
No chiefs, all Indians.
That's it, man. We loosely follow.
We all know each other. We all do our own things. We're not trying to lead an assault to take down Star Wars. All that. Now, when Solo came out, I know a lot of people did actively boycott. I just fucking wasn't interested. I just was not interested in the Han Solo prequel, so I didn't show up. With this next movie here, after The Last Jedi, I don't see any direction it can go in, and the trailers didn't win me over, and nobody on my channel wants me to go anyway, so there's really no reason, and especially my family, they don't want to go see it because they didn't like The Last Jedi. There is zero reasons for me to go see Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. So
I'm going to see that.
Yeah.
I'm going to see that hot mess. Like I said,
and you have a reason to see it. Same with Goober. Goober's already locked in for that. He was locked in before, and that's cool. You know, and I'm you know, we're not assaulting each other for, oh, you're gonna go see that. You know, we don't.
Trust me, I don't want to, but I'm gonna be able to sit through the shit show firsthand. And am I gonna walk out and go, that was just as bad as we thought it was, or am I gonna walk out and go,
those guys that left,
I'm pleasantly surprised.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
you're
you,
fine.
but yeah, Leo Red said Jeremy stepped down too, but he came back. Yeah, those guys leave and they come back all the time, so it's not really any big.
The
thing
High
there.
Council's like professional wrestling. You never really retire.
Right?
And that's
But,
the other thing about the High Council and EVS stepping down. It's people want to complain that he's stepping down, he's not going to be there. It's like the same people also complain that it took him forever to write Cyberfrog, and it's like, the High Council took about 4 hours out of his day.
every time sitting there,
So-
and you see him drawing while he was on the stream, just so he could let everybody know, yes, I am working. You know, so I'm working and talking at the same time. I can kind of relate to that. I get caught up in these live streams, and then I don't get content made for my channel. It's just it's time management is I love doing this shit, man, but trying to manage what you're going to spend time on, and then trying to have a life, any kind of a life outside of that as well. It can be challenging at times, and I'll just leave it at that. But speaking of, now we told you guys things that we like, directions that we want to go in. We're also going to talk about things. Then the reason why there will always be a Fandom Menace is because we have this. All right, this is the topic of the week. All right, not so much that this movie bombed, because I don't think any single person here is even remotely surprised that this happened. All right, we saw this coming from the trailer. Nobody asked for this movie. Now Pete went and saw it because we had a playful dare. We all decided we're going to see something that we don't want to watch, just to prove to our channels that we're open-minded individuals, where we were actually looking for something to like. We knew that these movies were going to turn out the way they did, but we sat through them anyway, just so that we couldn't sit here and go, oh, you guys are bitching about it, but you didn't even go see it. How do you know if you don't see it? Well, Pete went and saw Charlie's Angels 2019. I went and saw Terminator Dark Fate. Goober's going to go see, Rise of Skywalker, and MJ, who's on my Friday show, is going to go see Knives Out on
Poor
Thanksgiving by herself.
Poor girl.
So that's going to be reviewed on my channel, probably also on Peace channel. So she's going to go see it, guys, so that you don't have to. We're also doing you guys a favor. We
Yep.
will voluntarily suffer through no less than one terrible movie a year, if not a couple. I saw Hellboy 2019. That was
I
pretty
liked
terrible.
that movie.
I know, but I didn't. I fucking hated it. I wanted to like it, damn it, because I thought the trailer for that was solid. But we're not going to get into that. But we're not going to talk about the review of Charlie's Angels 29. What we're going to talk about is this delusional bubble that its director and star Elizabeth Banks
And
lives in.
writer and producer.
And the
She has
Tommy
4 hats.
Wiseau of Charlie, ladies and gentlemen, the Tommy Wiseau of Charlie's Angels 2019.
Oh, hi, Pete.
Take it away, Pete.
Oh, so Elizabeth Banks, she absolutely has lost her mind. She believes that she made a movie that was so important it had to make money. You had to see it. It was a must see. This was a cultural phenomenon in the making. No, it wasn't. You took an IP from the 70s that got rehashed in the early 2000s, and each of them made over $260 million at the box office. 2000 Charlie's Angels and Full Throttle, the sequel in 2003. This thing couldn't even crack 8 million domestic, or it cracked barely 8 million domestic its opening weekend, because Elizabeth Banks had to make this a feminist movie. All right, now this show was all about beautiful women kicking ass. Now you've taken it out of that.
The TV series, even
the
before
TV
it was
series, I'm sorry.
the 70s TV series, even before the 2000 movie was a remake of the TV series.
Yeah.
So, is this a remake of the TV series or a remake of the movie? It's
It
neither. It's a whole new
incorporates
thing. Yeah.
both. Like they
Oh.
tried to bring both into the mythos, and this is just the Elizabeth Banks. That sometimes you gotta blame the thing up here, sweetheart.
Well,
You know,
she's
and then
about
you
to
want
say Elizabeth has no money in the banks. Yeah.
she seriously though, you want or I'm sure those investors are pissed. You want to make a movie marketed towards women and tell men this isn't for you, but then the movie shits the bed and you are completely insane and you want to blame men for not seeing your movie. Well, let me tell you something, honey. I went and paid money to see your damn movie and it was terrible, and you are a nut job. Like you don't like what this is like yelling at clouds. Like it's basically what she's sitting there shaking her fist, yelling at the clouds. You know, I don't understand what world this is. Like, where does this come from? Like, I don't. I guess I'm too rational.
Wait, doesn't it sound like she went back in a time machine to 2015 and just now came back from 2015? Like, she doesn't realize that fucking 4 years have passed since 2015, and that these things that she thinks are important, like Paul Feig thought with Ghostbusters was important, are really not all that important anymore. People just want an entertaining movie.
Well, Paul Feig thinks this movie's so important now.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that too. Our good old boy, our good old friend of the Fandom Menace, Paul Feig. You know, this Ghostbusters shit, man, I'm gonna be honest with you.
It won't die.
I was not a YouTuber when all that was going down, but I was watching a lot of YouTube channels, and I was watching that train wreck unfold. I wasn't quite as involved in that because at the time, Star Wars was not a part of that. All right.
Yeah.
That came afterwards. So I'm watching this deteriorate. I thought, what's the big deal? So they made a bad reboot. So what? All right. Is it that big of a deal? You know, we still have 2 good Ghostbusters movies.
Yep.
Fuck all you guys. I love Ghostbusters too.
I do too.
So I fucking love
that
He's
movie.
Vigo. But
Vigo the Carpathian.
why am I drippings with goo? No, but I love that movie, and those 2 movies still exist. I mean, nobody tore them down, but I do remember all of this, just the overwhelming amount of spite coming from Paul Feig and all the cast members, and the whole thing with Leslie Jones and Melissa McCarthy. I started losing respect for her right about that time when she was calling everybody, you know, a bunch of basement dwellers or cousin humpers or whatever the fucking dumb thing that she called us, whatever isms. Everything was blamed for that movie's failure other than the movie itself.
Was it the other guy? Was it Milo Yiannopoulos they blamed for
Oh
that?
yeah,
too?
that shit was going down too.
It was Milo.
That was the height of that shit. And I mean, even presidential candidates were using that movie as a platform. I'm like, what fucking circus am I living in where presidential candidates are using that movie to debate with each other? Are you fucking kidding me? What circus am I living in?
First of all, the movie's a piece of, and I just watched it. I'd only seen it once before.
I watched it once. Yeah, I watched it just out of morbid curiosity. I think it was on HBO, and I sat through it, and I'm like, wow, all of that fuss over a genuinely unfunny comedy.
The last time the wife and the kid were out of town,
I
got medicated and watched it by myself, and I was like,
it didn't
this
so
still
much
isn't funny.
It didn't offend me as much as I just sat there and thought, where did the 160 million go?
It was just,
I don't see it. Like the special
dumb.
effects, it looks like 2000 level Scooby-Doo, you know, but anyways, I'm getting off topic. I'm not trying to turn this into a Ghostbusters 2016, but it wasn't so much the movie being bad. We could have forgiven that. It was all of the back and forth online between fans and social justice types and the right and the left bickering each other over a fucking movie. And then, you know, you bring that into Star Wars, and now Elizabeth Banks is trying to do that same fucking stunt that didn't work with Ghostbusters again. Like, we're actually going to listen, and we're like, are you for real? Are you really bringing this argument into, you're bringing this 2015 argument into 2019 as if anybody is going to fucking listen to you?
She's still pissed because Power Rangers didn't get a sequel.
Dude, even woke critics are not defending this movie.
No, you can't. There's no.
The critics have overwhelmingly said this movie is objectively bad.
The critics were harder on this movie than the audience was.
Poorly written, badly executed, terrible action.
The editing.
This is an action movie directed by somebody that's never directed an action movie. Sound familiar?
Unbelievable. The fight sequences are horrible. Like I said, you've got we were talking about this, we correlate this to The Mandalorian. Sal and I we were talking about this in the chat earlier. Gina Carano being on The Mandalorian, she brings a heavy dose of believability and reality to it, especially in fight sequences, because she's a professional MMA fighter at one point, you know. So you look at her in a fight sequence versus Kristen Stewart in a fight sequence versus a guy like, I'm not in the best shape right now. I mean, I'm only about 220. I'm 6'3", 220, you know, but you know, you got this 5'9", 100-pound string bean girl knocking out dudes that are like, you know, 220 and up, you know, these big 240. It's like Batwoman. It's the same damn thing. I watched it the other night, last episode. Ruby Rose, 100 pounds, soaking wet. She's 5'7". She beat the shit out of this guy who's like 250 pounds. This other big ass female like security officer, like without even breaking a sweat. I'm like, come on, like, you know, I mean, I understand you're the protagonist, but if you want us to buy what you're selling, you need to make me believe you a little bit more. And
well,
that's
you know,
what they failed to do with
like
this.
we said on your review too. It's like it's a spy. Okay, we knew going into it this was supposed to be about female empowerment.
Yeah.
That's not what we were upset about, because at least with this was already a cast of women. So you had at least a good platform this time. With Ghostbusters, it was a little more cringy because you're taking an ancient comedy from the 80s, you know, that had a mass audience appeal, and then you turned that into a platform for feminist politics. It's like, what? Well, thanks, Amy Pascal. Nobody fucking wanted that. Thanks so much for that. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, bro. You know, I mean,
Amy Pascal.
oh,
take your whiff and throw away Amy Pascal.
But so now this is becoming more famous as a argument online, because we're even in 2019, these arguments are not completely over with yet, unfortunately. So
and Paul Feig had to try to make himself relevant again. I was like, you really want to die on the hill of Charlie's Angels, bro? Is that what you want to fucking do? That's the hill you want to choose to die on?
I don't know if you can see this, but here's a tweet. All right. This at Elizabeth Banks. I knew when Ford v Ferrari and Midway were out, but not Charlie's Angels. And like at Paul Feig's Ghostbusters, the marketing was to women, perhaps even anti-male. Want men to attend your film? Market to them. Don't exclude them with virtue signaling. And I thought that was a decent statement, because that's what we keep saying over and over again. You blew this from the get-go. Just like Terminator Dark Fate, you announced what this was all going to be about, and people are tired of this argument. They are just sick of it. And then, of course, Paul Feig's got to come back again. You guys see this? Yeah, there we go. So Paul Feig comes right back with, and now remember, this is the guy that has a movie out right now called Last Christmas. And I'm not going to spoil that movie for you. I already kind of accidentally did on another stream.
George Michael.
It's about George Michael. Okay. Think about the song Last Christmas in the lyrics, and the movie is exactly that. Yeah, there's a twist in the movie. It's a romantic comedy, all right, with Emilia Clarke, who I've said many times I think is an awful actress. Sorry. I know people in this chat are going to hate me for saying that.
Leo Red coming to get you now.
Leo Red's going to be coming after me. He's going to be sending me a lump of coal for Christmas. Maybe I'm asking for it, but I'm sorry, I'm not a fan, all right? She's a very pretty lady. I have yet to see her in anything that impresses me. When it happens, I'll be the first one to tell you, hey, she's pretty good at what she does. So anyways, Paul Feig is the director of Last Christmas, and the premise of Last Christmas, it is a romantic comedy. The romantic lead that Emilia Clarke has in the movie is secretly dead and was a heart transplant donor, and Emilia Clarke had a transplant done. And yeah, the lyrics are, "Last Christmas, I gave you my heart." That's the movie. That's the twist.
They already made this movie with Bob Hoskins and Denzel Washington.
So that's the director of the movie, is Paul Feig, the same guy that made The Disaster, that he still defends to this day, like a kid that wants to take his ball and go home. All right, has said anti-male, quote, virtue signaling. God, you guys are boring. So a movie starring women has an agenda. A movie starring men is just a movie. We got it. I'm sure Elizabeth is grateful for your mansplaining. Thanks for taking the time to be helpful. And then some smart aleck gif here. This is a tweet. This is the kind of shit that gets us going. Okay. Directors getting on Twitter and firing back at the fans. I don't remember Lucas getting on Twitter, thank God, back in can you imagine what it would be like if the Phantom Menace came out during the Twitter era?
The thing is that he took it and then changed. Like Jar Jar was supposed to have a much bigger role in the next two movies.
Reduced it. He listened to his fans.
Yeah.
Now there's a very long if you guys seen The People versus George Lucas, there is a pretty good documentary, because it kind of sort of tries to understand where Lucas was coming from when he made The Phantom Menace. And they believe that some of the decisions he made was to try to appeal to he hadn't made a movie in several years, and he was trying to figure out what will appeal to my fans. Now, of course, he missed almost every mark. All right. But he was trying to do something different, but also appeal to fans. And he realizes after launching it, some of that stuff didn't work. So he was at least trying to slowly improve it over the course of the next 2 films. Whereas Paul Feig, nope, I didn't do nothing wrong. You guys don't like it because you're just a bunch of haters. Did I lose you, Pete?
No, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
That's one thing. I've always, I remember when that term first showed up, hater. I've always hated being like, oh, you're just a hater. It's like, no, like there's a difference between constructive criticism and then, because hater inherently means that, oh, you're jealous, so you're trying to bring me down so I don't succeed. And it's like, well, honey, if you need auto tuning, to sing, you probably shouldn't be a singer. Like, that's when they say, oh, it's all the haters and the trolls. It's like, if everyone's saying the same shit, it's probably true.
It's like getting fired from your job and then blaming the coworker in the other department.
Right.
It's like, doesn't make any fucking sense at all, but whatever.
There you go. This is what we deal with. This is why the fandom menace will never die. Because
Andy Dick.
there's always a
old ass
clown like,
Andy.
well, this is Paul Feig, but yeah, there's always going to be a clown like this that thinks he knows more than fans of a franchise would know. Now, hopefully, Paul Feig learned something from Ghostbusters 2016 and never touches a franchise movie again as long as he lives. We can only be so lucky.
His bow tie is frowning like his face.
I got a free lesson for him. Feig, if you're listening, or Fig, as I like to pronounce your name, because figs. When your hairline looks like that, it's probably time to give up the swoop, because you're just accenting that widow's peak right there, bud. You should probably cut that down to about a quarter inch, maybe do a medium fade, something, because that looks like a toupee.
He looks like he's about to shush a bunch of kids in a library.
This is the funny thing is, look at this dude, and this is the roast of Paul Feig now. This is like, he wants to call me, like guys like me and us, a man babies and neck beards and basement dwelling cousin humpers. Look at this motherfucker. I'm sorry, just look at this dude. This is the definition of he's an ancillary character in his own life. This is a beta male. He's admitted that he doesn't know how to write for male characters. You're a fucking man and you don't know how to write for male characters, dude. Stop using your balls like one of them little bouncy things, because there ain't nothing down there, and you're just basically why would you even like take anything this cat says seriously? Like, yeah, he can't direct men. I mean, like I said, I was talking about this the other night. He directed a bunch of episodes of The Office that I love. Now, I look at The Office in a different way that I look at Ghostbusters. I'm not looking at The Office and I'm not mad because Jim Halpert's not kicking ass. Now as Jack Ryan, he can, but under the direction of something like that, which you're directing a bunch of people in an office setting, it's a lot different than Ghostbusters, which you've got, I don't know, those whatever.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
But well, there it is.
So he has no idea what he's doing when it comes to men. So who are you to judge another man, dude? Don't try to project your insecurities on us, because
this is what I'm getting at, though. It's this constant like generalizing of people because somebody made you mad. So this is like stuff that kids do in like middle school. It's like, okay, you disagree with my post, so fuck your whole family and your whole town and everywhere you live, and just generalizing people instead of just focusing on the one person that disagrees with you.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like a man that's afraid to use a urinal at a public restroom.
Probably never has. Yeah, he probably never has.
He puts them little things down on the seats before he sits down to pee.
He's probably sniffed a few seats too. I'm just guessing on that. I don't know for sure, but just speculating. Might have sniffed a few seats. But
He
yeah,
looks like he's trying to hold in a soda burp, and then it like comes out hot through his nose.
He's a little. I think this he's a little.
MJ says I like his bow tie. MJ, I would probably say that the bow tie itself has more personality than this clown does.
Yeah.
These are the kind of, and the thing is whenever it's this anti-male thing. This guy comes crawling out of the woodworks. It's like he hears. It's like that scene on the Phantom Menace where you blow the horn and then they come.
The Gungans.
The Gungans. It's like he comes running. He comes running to anybody's defense that wants to bitch about the men this, the men that, the men. The thing is, Paul Feig, is that Charlie's Angels was never marketed towards men. But the thing is I found out recently, if you watch Midnight's Edge recently, they did the study. More women went to go see Rambo than they went to go see Charlie's Angels. That is a fact.
By a lot.
Fucking nobody
Rambo
went to go
was
see
in theaters
Charlie's
for like a week.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Like I
How
said,
long do you think this movie's going to stay in theaters?
not very long.
Charlie's Angels. Oh, it'll be going after this weekend. dude.
Like I said, man, I had two women in front of me in line, and I started talking to them, and they were going to see Ford versus Ferrari. They didn't even know Charlie's Angels was in the theater, and they're like, "Oh, are you and your wife going to see it?" I was like, "No, she don't want to see that shit. I got to review it, so I'm going to see it by myself." And they're like, "Oh," I'm like, "Yeah, it sucks."
And, some people said too, you could probably, this is probably to soften the blow. Okay, let's say it's not just about the politics. Just look at the stars of your movies. When you had Charlie's Angels in 2000, you had Lucy Liu, Cameron Diaz, and Drew Barrymore, who were very popular people at the time. You had box office draw based on those three ladies alone. You think anybody that went to go see Charlie's Angels watched the fucking TV show? Bruh.
I think in the theater that I was in, the two older people,
I think so.
the two older people in the theater with me were legitimately, and I'm not saying this as an insult or pejorative, but they were boomers. So I guarantee you they probably watched the TV show. But then there was these two little soy boys that came in and sat down, and they were just like there for the girl power, and me, I'm just sitting in the back trying to not to look like Pee Wee Herman.
Did they have the same haircut as Kristen Stewart in the movie?
They did. Actually, they
Pull
did.
that up,
I tried to take a
Shocker.
picture. I tried to fucking take a picture of them, and like the one even had like the hipster glasses on and shit, like the tight flannel with like the skinny jeans and the Chuck Taylors. Yeah.
Anytime I try to avoid these Twitter wars and shit.
Oh god, yeah. I don't even fuck with Twitter. The only thing I ever do on Twitter is, hey, watch my video. That's about as far as it
Same
goes.
here.
And look to see if anybody sent me anything.
I've dropped a
That's
couple
as far
memes.
as I go.
Yeah, but from now on, anytime, I'm not going to give them the time of day. I'll just dignify it with a response by just hashtag she's not going to suck your dick.
Yep.
That's what a lot of this comes down to.
Yep.
So it's people trying to gain social acceptance. So here's the marketing of which you sold this movie. Now I want you to tell me about this poster. What about this appeals to men? What, the guns, the gold guns? Looks like she stole those guns from Nicolas Cage in Face Off. Even those were better.
Naomi Scott, the bottom one that was in the Power Rangers, her and Ella Balinska are absolutely beautiful.
Mm.
They're gorgeous. Like they
I
are.
was gonna say the one in the middle is doing it for me.
Yeah. Like they're both beautiful. Kristen Stewart, like they tried to and they're talking about her like she's like some huge star. I'm like,
no, it's
no.
okay. She was in the Twilight Saga, and that brings me to my next point. Does this movie, just looking at this poster right now, feel like that scene from Spaceballs where it goes, "You captured their stunt doubles," like they were trying to hijack Lucy Liu and Cameron Diaz and Drew Barrymore. Instead, we got these three right here. Am I the only one that feels that just by looking at it? I don't want to tear up their looks, but I mean, like you said, Kristen Stewart hasn't been in anything in a hot minute.
She was what's in the Snow White movie, and they didn't even have her in the sequel. Yeah, I didn't
Like-
see it. I
Like
didn't
what? A
watch
couple
it.
of 12-year-olds went to go see that. I mean, that one bombed too. So you had nothing going for this at all. Like absolutely nothing. It's like it was a bad idea from inception. And I did finally get the budget of this movie, Pete. It was $55 million.
So you can basically double that with marketing.
Yeah.
So
55 million was a budget. So they didn't spend over 100 at least, thank God. But I can't imagine it. But studios already knew this movie was going to bomb, and they released this in such a way to where it would soften their losses. You know what I mean? Like they snuck this out over the weekend, and when people didn't show it. But I just think it's funny that Elizabeth Banks didn't even think, she didn't even wait a day to bitch about this one. It's almost as if these responses were written in advance.
They knew. They had to know that this movie
She knew that this was
going
to be attacked, and she took all the worst parts of the Ghostbusters playbook and put it in a fucking sack and said, "All right, this is what we're going to do when they start bitching about our movie. It's the men."
Yep.
So the people that you didn't market the movie towards
Still our
are at
fault.
fault for not showing up for the movie. Gotcha. Okay. Amazing.
Still our fault.
It's
you know?
amazing. It's just this thing unfolds. I had this in my outline as just like a loose topic, but like every day, it's like this big foil ball that just keeps kind of slowly coming apart, and it's like more stuff comes out. I'm telling you, man, they went straight for what we thought they would. I was surprised that they didn't do this with Terminator Dark Fate. Like, I haven't heard anybody come out and say, okay, well, nobody went and saw this movie because men. Well, Terminator was a men's franchise.
Yep.
Whereas Charlie's Angels was a franchise. It was a comedy. It was a fucking comedy. At least the movie version of it was a comedy. It was kind of made for everybody. I thought the first one was great.
Yeah.
Second one, not so much. I mean,
No.
even Drew Barrymore couldn't save that one for me. It was just a little too weird. But I didn't want to turn this into a Charlie's Angels review, but it is the hot topic, and
But Elizabeth Banks is insane.
she is nuts. Yeah,
just
she's very nuts, and I think she's one of those people that thinks she's bigger than she probably actually is. Didn't you
Yep.
get that vibe off of her?
Oh yeah, like I said, man, the one I was watching, I can't remember if it was like Watch Mojo or Looper video about, which I subscribe to both of them because they have a lot of just like little time wasting videos that I'll put on as background noise. And they were I think it was one of them, they were talking about her, and it's like she's like, so they call her like a Hollywood heavy hitter. I'm like, are you out of your goddamn mind? Because of Pitch Perfect, she's a heavy hitter. I'm like, what the fuck world is where am I?
That
at?
reminds me, Pete. I don't want to spoil it for you, but just give you a little bit of a heads up, so I don't just throw it at you like a ton of bricks. On the Friday show,
Yeah.
shameless plug for my channel. We're gonna watch another movie of Kristen Stewart. Well, not a movie. We're gonna watch a trailer of an upcoming movie that has Kristen Stewart in it.
Oh,
So,
what is it called?
Underwater.
Ah, shit. Okay, yeah. I heard she was in another movie.
So we're gonna watch that trailer. We're gonna open up with a trailer reaction because I've seen that trailer. I've seen that trailer twice, and I have thoughts. MJ's seen the trailer. She has thoughts. We haven't shared each other's thoughts.
I haven't seen it.
Don't watch it. Yeah, save it all for Friday. Save it all for the Friday show. But yeah, she's trying to make some kind of a come out. Oh, I don't know. Get back on the box office or whatever. But yeah, Charlie's Angels was not the fit. From what I hear, she's the best part of it too. Is she the best? Is she?
No.
Okay.
No, they're like, she's so funny, and all the shit that they tried to do to make her funny fell on its face. I mean, it's like trying to make, I don't know, what's his name? Alan Rickman funny, like they do that Family Guy gag where it's like, hello, you've reached Alan Rickman. This is Alan Rickman calling to remind myself that children oven off later because I'm Alan Rickman. And it was just like, no, her lines aren't funny. There's nothing that like hits for Kristen Stewart in this movie. I mean, I thought about it when she had the wig on, but that's another story altogether. Then she took it off, saw that Justin Bieber hair. I was like, hey, cabron. No, but no, they did. They played up that she was like this comedic, gold mine in this movie, and she's so funny and witty, and she's not. And I'm not just saying that. I sat through the fucking movie.
Did you get to a point where you were just kind of desperately looking for something to hang on to? It's like, oh, there's got to be something redeemable here, or did you just like instantly repel you?
I did get that in the form of when
that's the only difference between you and me and the Terminator. So it's like I got to a point where I'm like, yeah, this movie's fucked. Right. 10 minutes in, I'm like, yep, this movie's fucked.
Yep.
And just right from the big spoiler, it's like, okay, they're not gonna rebound from this. There's got to be something else. So like, okay, well, maybe that's kind of cool. I could deal with that if it was in a different movie. Yeah.
What redeemed this for me was seeing Naomi Scott kind of in that red dress with that choker around her neck being pulled around by a chain. I was kind of all right with that because goddamn, she's sexy.
So we discussed this on your channel a little bit last night. Monday night. We talked about Elizabeth Banks was the secretary.
Betty Brant. Yep.
And I didn't even remember her character until
I was surprised you didn't. I was like, yeah,
I didn't fucking remember. I just recently bought those movies too. I have them on Blu-ray, and I haven't watched it in a while because I just never have time to sit and watch all three of them. But I forgot that she was even in it. I was like,
Yeah,
Elizabeth Banks. Who the hell's Elizabeth Banks?
She buzzes she buzzes Jonah when he needs to take his pills, and she pays Peter, and Peter hits on her when he's emo Spidey.
So
I
it's
thought she was
supposed
pretty hot in Spider-Man.
I did too.
It's supposed to
still
be-
Really
think
did
she's-
anything? I was like,
I still think she's sexy, but she's
Wasn't
just
she
a
also in
fucking.
Zack and Mary Make a Porno?
She looked like
that's what
ass in
Linkolex
that.
just said. He said outside of Zack and Mary, her
Oh,
most
yeah,
famous
sure.
role is still Betty Brant of the
Yep.
Raimi Spider-Man movies. I think she has
40-year-old
4 lines in
virgin.
the whole trilogy.
Well, yeah,
Crazy
she was in
chick.
40-Year-Old Virgin. She played the slut that was like, I got my bike. I hope you got a big trunk, so I'm putting my bike in it or some shit like that.
That was Judd Apatow's wife. I don't remember her name.
Leslie Mann.
Yeah, that's her.
So the new Charlie's Angels, though, it's not billed as an action movie. It's not billed as a comedy. Fuck is it?
Garbage.
See, even the director don't know what it is. It's all it is a political fucking statement. If you have to, nobody here in this room is against female empowerment as long as it happens in a natural setting, as long as you have a likable character. If you have to make all of the opposite sex in your movie weak in order to make your leads look strong, therein lies your problem right there.
3/4 of the view.
Right. 3/4 of you already immediately gone because people are smarter than they used to be. They can tell when they're being lectured to, and they don't want that meal anymore. They're
No, I
tired of
mean
it.
like the movie. It's basically like 3/4 of the view.
Oh,
option.
the View,
Yeah.
the TV show. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good.
It's essentially what it looks like to me.
It is. You're not wrong. I mean,
Another description was Instagram the movie,
Mhm.
or not Instagram, Snapchat.
Snapchat the movie. Yep.
Yeah, Snapchat the movie. Yeah.
Well, like every time like something happens
Tumblr.
to a guy, they're just like, she's like, well, maybe he'll live. And they're like, well, whatever. Like, who cares? It's just a man.
I
But
mean,
anyways-
that one picture when they're all like kind of trying to square up to punch something. Like
Mhm.
Kristen Stewart looks like she's about to go up to those little, arcade punching bag things to see how
Yep.
hard you can hit.
This one right here.
Yeah, and then in the middle, she actually looks like she's about to spar, and then on the right, she looks like she's about to fucking cunt and punt a squirrel.
Not one of them has their hands up where they should be.
Nope.
They're gonna get cold clocked right in the fucking jaw with their hands that low.
Yeah,
Plus, their elbows are all spread out, leaving the body open.
They're chicken winging.
Yep. You can't do that, man. You get your
You gotta
fucking.
keep it tight. Keep a
Get your
box.
shit-
Keep your chin down.
My dad taught me that boxing because he beat the shit out of me as a
It looks
kid
like
until
a-
I learned.
it looks like a Justin Bieber music video.
Yeah.
Well, I think Kristen Stewart is Justin Bieber.
They
She
could
looks like the
in
one chick
person,
from Saturday Night Live that dresses up like Justin Bieber.
Kate McKinnon,
Yeah,
the one from Ghostbusters.
yep.
Other
I
than
was
the
getting a vibe off that Kate McKinnon vibe big time off of her. Yeah.
I say, other than the one in the middle, who Goddess, it looks like Charlie's Angels if it was a made-for-TV movie made by the Disney Channel.
It does.
VH1.
They actually did try to make a Charlie's Angels TV show, and that failed.
TV.
8
feels like
episodes.
it feels like a pilot for that. Yeah.
That lasted 8 whole episodes and got shit canned.
So this franchise is going to have to be buried long enough for people to forget about it. I mean,
Wow,
I
the
think
Cheetah Girls really went downhill.
I heard that cartoon Totally Spies was even better than this.
I've never seen it.
Me either.
Oh, I remember that shit.
To-
Oh my god.
I remember that shit. Yeah, Totally Spy. Kim Possible was better than this. Yeah.
I've heard of that one.
Anyways, as long as these things exist, the Phantom Menace will not go away. Is my
Yep.
point.
And it's like we're not even fighting against Charlie's Angels. It's just like Elizabeth Banks is an idiot. Just
Shut
your-
up. It's
shut your beautiful mouth.
Here's the thing. Is it just like not cool to admit defeat once in a while? It's like, we say something wrong. We try to get out in front of it. We try to say,
Yep.
hey, maybe I was, a perfect example. I was wrong about Alita. I didn't assume anything about Alita. It's just when I saw the trailer for Alita, I thought, oh, it's another YA movie, because that's what it came off as to me. It's like, I'm not a 12-year-old girl, so that's probably not going to appeal to me.
Same
I'm
here.
not into anime. And then people said, no,
Yep.
Ruvinator, go see this movie. Seriously. I'm like, all right, I'll go see it. And then I was like, Oh yeah, that's pretty badass. That's totally my thing. It's cyberpunk. I love it. Yeah.
I streamed that and I
I needed
rented
to
it
be
a couple
convinced.
times.
Now that's an example of I was wrong, and I was the first one to come out and say, as one of the most best watched videos on my entire channel ever, was this really is good. It's like, first I went to go see this because I was actually partaking of the Captain Marvel challenge, and then I watched the movie and I'm like, but you don't need to do it just because of the challenge. It's actually a pretty damn good movie. Go see it.
Yep.
Now you see that poster hanging up behind me? I got a hot toy ordered that I'm waiting on. And hopefully when that comes out in December, I'll be doing an unboxing video here too. So, but yeah, as long as these things, it's not so much that these bad movies come out. I think they need to slow down. A lot of these things were, this movie was put into pre-production. If Midnight's Edge has their facts together, it was put into pre-production in 2015. So that was at the height of the Ghostbusters bullshit. All right. And the Yiannopoulos that we were just talking about, Milo Yiannopoulos and everything was going on. So Elizabeth Banks must have just sealed herself into that bubble and never came out. Like, she hasn't realized that the world has changed a little bit since 2015. That's what it comes off as.
You know what's really cool?
Yeah, what?
We can like sit here at home and bullshit on the boardroom. And Charlie's Angels is currently, right now, losing money.
Yep.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Like, that's pretty funny.
You know,
So-
it just goes to say, it's like we're
Fuck you, Charlize Theron.
At the
Whatever
same
your name
time,
is.
thank you, Elizabeth Banks, because you make you make these things.
Or
fun.
Elizabeth Banks. My bad.
I was like, what did
What did I say?
Charlize Theron ever do to you?
Never mind. I love her.
I love
No,
Charlize Theron, yeah.
You know what fucked my mind? I didn't know that Charlize Theron was South African.
Yeah.
And I was watching some interview, and apparently everyone said it's pronounced Thron is how you say her last name. It's not Theron, it's Thron.
it's still Theron to me. I don't care.
Oh,
Yeah, that
Charlize-
blew my mind. Yeah, Charlize Thron.
Can I just call her Charlize Theron?
How about I
Yeah,
call her Furiosa and leave it at that?
Hell yeah.
Love that movie.
But that was like, man, that's got to be like, to be at that level of fame, just everyone says your name wrong. But it's like, I'm Charlize Theron now. So like,
Yep.
I apologize, Charlize Theron, if you ever hear the boardroom. I meant to say Elizabeth Banks. Okay, she's like fucking awful. So
Charlize Theron was dating Sean Penn. That's punishment enough.
true.
yeah,
That's punishment enough.
Yeah, Lake
Yes.
XS says, I'm pretty sure this show has made more money than Charlie's Angels. Ghostbusters 2016 made more money. Think about that. Jesus.
hashtag still more profitable than Disney Star Wars.
I don't know what made more money, Ghostbusters or was it the Kitchen or Charlie's Angels?
Oh my God, I forgot about the kitchen.
The Kitchen only made like 16 grand worldwide.
You know,
So
these
Either
are-
way,
Charlie's
we
already
didn't get
beat
no
that.
fucking sandwiches.
These people in this bubble, man, it's like they're just sinking, and the rest of us are just standing there like, bye.
Yep. Bye.
Still waiting for my sandwich. Charlie's
I
Angels.
know. That sounds.
Well. Bye.
That's just how I feel about it. But anyways, so as long as these things exist, we'll be there to talk about them. But we want to bring this back to a more positive light again. Actually, none of us are pissed that Charlie's Angels is losing money. I'm actually happy that Elizabeth Banks keeps saying crazy shit out there so that we can joke about it and,
Yep.
and make more memes. You know, God knows there'll be some more cat memes with Elizabeth Banks.
She'll forever be known as Granny Panties.
Oh, from Zach and Miri.
Yeah,
That's a messed up thing. Is like I was like, because
Granny Panties. Oh my god, I still have to take a picture. With
she
you.
was like, she was so she's so good looking, and I'm like, they made her look like dog shit in that movie.
Keely Chow says, "Are there any famous women who are hot and sane?" Yes, Gal Gadot and Charlize
Duff.
Theron.
Throne.
Charlize
Grand
Theron.
Admiral Charlize Theron.
You know who else I really like? I'm almost ashamed of.
I want to see Charlize Theron in like a sexy Imperial uniform, like Thrawn's uniform, but like a skirt, because she's like
Shit,
what?
she
six-
should have been fucking Captain Marvel.
I'm still saying Katie Sackhoff, but I would have taken Charlize Theron as
love Katie
as Captain
Sackhoff.
Marvel. She was badass.
I
What
would
the
have liked
fuck was
Captain
that?
Marvel more.
What was that? Atomic Blonde or whatever that Charlize was in?
Yeah,
Was that her?
So,
yeah.
I have
God.
that movie on 4K.
God damn.
That
Like,
was a pretty badass movie. I wish the story was flowed a little bit better.
yeah, like
but still
like,
like it. Yeah.
she just, I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, yeah, that was a good movie.
It's ridiculous.
So,
Fucking
anyways,
Charlie's Angels.
I think we're gonna take it to our East Coast connection, our East Coast syndicate. Goober Brothers, you got some Florida stories for us, buddy?
Yeah.
All right.
So
It wouldn't be an episode of the boardroom if we didn't have some Florida stories.
And now the supernatural. What do we call you? The supernatural
supernatural representative of the Florida Man delegation.
There you go.
Wow, that's a mouthful. We're gonna have to find.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. Ah, swing.
That's what she said.
Okay, insert rod support A into slot B.
That's
And if you say that's what she said one more time, I'm going to pop you.
I love her reaction after Michael Scott says that. She's like, oh, come on. All right. So, are you gentlemen ready?
I'm always ready.
Ready.
Everybody in the chat, press F if you are ready for Florida. Not going to wait. Okay. Anyways.
Go Ryder.
All right. So,
all the F's you need.
Hey guys, do you guys like pizza?
Yes.
All right. Well, Florida man arrested after hitting dad with pizza because he was mad he helped birth him.
That sounds like some Tourette's guy level shit.
Yeah. So in Holiday, Florida, a man in Pasco County, right in your neighborhood, Adam, was arrested for domestic battery after admitting he hit his dad in the face with a slice of pizza because he was mad his dad helped birth him. So,
Fuck you
33
for bringing this world. Slap.
Yep. So 33-year-old Robert Houston held his dad down and yelled at him after shoving the pizza in his face. After letting his dad get up, Houston went outside and waited for authorities to arrive, according to the affidavit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Houston told deputies he knew he was going to jail when they arrived on scene. Deputies observed chunks of cheese and sauce where the incident happened. Two other family members backed up what the victim said. Houston was taken to the Land O'Lakes Detention Center. He is facing a charge for domestic battery.
I'm just trying to picture that arraignment room. Like, you've been charged with several counts of assault with a deadly pizza. How do you plead? Oh, not guilty by reasons of insanity, Your Honor.
Would you guys hit your dad in the face with a piece of pizza for that?
No, I'm trying to think if I ever hit my dad ever. I don't think I ever hit him. No. I've gotten up in his face before, like when I was in my teens, but I don't think I ever hit him.
I
Who
tried
would you-
to and
who
got
would you
body
guys
slammed.
Who would you guys hit in the face with a pizza?
Paul Feig right now.
Paul Feig?
Elizabeth Banks, definitely. It'd be fun.
No, I wouldn't hit her in the face with pizza. Elizabeth Banks is the type of person that I would bring to a party just to watch her break down and just, make an ass out of herself. She's like the person that she would be like inviting Cecil to a stream, and giving him a bottle of old granddad or something.
Oh, granddad. That's a thing.
That is a thing.
Southern Comfort. Last time I had that, I lost all my hair.
I last time I had Southern Comfort, I drank a fifth of it out of my boat, and I ended up spraying it all over the inside of my car with my ex driving home.
Wait, you drank the fifth out of your boat, so you dumped the fifth into the boat and then tipped the boat like it was drank it out of a shoe or
out of one of the pontoon tubes. I just lifted the entire pontoon up. I was doing pontoon bongs.
On the pound.
So
here I thought it was
Coco
cool.
Bong.
I thought it was cool to like drink out of a horn if you're a Viking, So
We drink out of boats in Michigan, like out of an entire fucking tube.
that doesn't surprise me.
The last time I had Southern Comfort, I put my pants back on in a hurry because she said it's too bad we're not related. So I got out of there real fast.
It's Dear Tay.
Don't try to Joe Dirt.
It's Deer Day. Guillotine.
Oh God.
We do have to do some magnet fishing. We got to bring that shit back.
I can't wait for magnet fishing.
Yeah, you're all going to come down here and Cody's going to have some magnet fishing.
Wait,
spots all out.
if I had a gun and shot someone who was coming at me with a slice of pizza, would that be considered self-defense in Florida? That depends.
Yes, it would.
Do you have a hoodie on and do you have Skittles and iced tea?
All of it.
Oh well, then you're just an innocent angel. You're fine. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, of course.
Self-defense. Self-defense. You're
So like
you're good.
So like so when I used to work at a funeral home, I buried a guy once, and a dude came up with a bottle of Southern Comfort, just just bought it from the store and just shoved it in the coffin. I was like, all right, cool.
That's alcohol abuse.
Like, I'm gonna open that back up and get that in a minute. You better hurry and get out of here.
It's like you're probably thinking, would anybody notice if I just, refilled it with tap water and put it back in there?
A big ass bottle too. I was like, damn.
The guy in the box ain't gonna say nothing.
Like, y'all must have partied really fucking hard.
There's a special circle waiting for the boardroom in hell.
Oh.
I bet his mentors were like, "Oh, he's buying some hair of the dog that bit him."
That's probably my favorite one that you've done yet.
That is, I love that one. That's my favorite. That fucking kid in that movie.
Dude, anything from Miami Connection makes me smile so much, Cody. You have no idea. If I'm having it's one thing about the holidays. It's like, I don't want to sound like the freaking Grinch, but it's like it gets so damn stressful sometimes just because there's always these Norman Rockwell-esque unrealistic expectations that your family will never attain. But yet it doesn't stop people from preparing for them every year ever since. And it's like you get dragged into this shit. And it's like you get to a point where you're just so damn stressed out. I put on Miami Connection and everything course corrects again because that movie is so bad it's wonderful.
Well, speaking of Miami, Florida man chews up police car seat after cocaine arrest.
Did he sniff it first?
So in Homestead,
somebody call Paul Feig. There's a madman in town.
So Channel 4 CBS Miami in Homestead, Florida. A Florida man was arrested Thursday night after more than 40 grams of cocaine were found in his possession during a traffic stop near in the Florida Keys, but not before he decided to eat part of the arresting officer's patrol car seat.
Yummy.
According to the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, Melvin Stubbs, 37 of Homestead, was charged with cocaine trafficking and resisting arrest. He was also charged with property damage for chewing up and or eating a sheriff's office patrol car seat after he was taken into custody.
Don't chew.
Stubbs was stopped by police for driving with very dark illegal window tinting. It was then discovered he had a warrant out for his arrest for violating probation stemming from cocaine sales. Stubbs tried to run away, but was caught and tasered by one of the officers. Police say they found 4 baggies of cocaine inside his jacket pocket with a total weight of 41.1 grams.
Oh, you're federally fucked.
So yeah, there's a picture on here. There's a fuck ton of cocaine.
Now, is tinting your windows a thing in Florida? Because I see it a lot. Is it allowed or no?
You can tint your windows. It just can't be like fucking pitch black like a police car.
Because I know in Illinois you could only tint like so much of your window.
Yeah, that's the same with Florida.
Not the whole thing. Okay, yeah.
Michigan's the same way.
Like the front, you can go. Yeah, I think you can go down like about 4 or 5 inches. Because I kept trying to tint my window. I had a little mini truck back in the 90s, and like I wanted to tint the whole damn thing, and like no, you can't do that. I'm like fuck.
Yeah, I don't even know what the like limit is because I mean you see people here all the time with like dark window tinting and they
drive
around with it. So I have no idea.
Like pitch black, like like something out of that movie, The Car.
Which I want because I don't want people seeing me screaming in the car, listening to
flipping
music,
them off, and
or picking my nose. I don't know.
That's I know.
Doing some carpool karaoke. Yeah.
I did that to my 300. I blacked it all out like that. I never got pulled over though. Of course, I think it honestly. It depends on what kind of car you drive.
Oh, bro, I went to the grocery store today. I had a whole Hall & Oates concert on the way back and to and from today. So,
Keely Chow said Brie Larson and pizza are the exact polar opposites of each other. One's flat, cheesy, and tasty, and the other is Brie Larson.
Nice.
I like Keely Chow already even more.
I love you, Keely
Uh,
Chow. Please subscribe to Raiders of the
hail.
Lost Flicks if you haven't already.
Oh man! So after placing him in the back seat of the patrol car, Stubbs chewed off and or ate a large piece of the seat, causing at least $1,000 in damage. Officers said he was so combative they had to put his feet in restraints and took him to Fisherman's Hospital in Marathon. He was medically cleared and then taken to jail. Jesus,
God damn it, boy! I'm gonna hog tie you.
dude! Like how? Okay, I've never done cocaine, but would that really make you fucking do that, or would it have to be mixed with like bath salts or something?
That's more than just cocaine. Unless you're like drunk and on.
I miss those Bastalt stories from a couple years ago. Oh god.
I
that was a
mean,
wonderful
seriously,
time.
because I'm in another life, I had experimented with a few different things, and I've never never wanted to. Now, you clank your teeth and want to smoke cigarettes and drink beer like it's going out of style, but I mean, I've never really been like that. That's just kind of fucked up. No, that's got to be something else, like some hardcore.
I'm telling
like,
you, man, it's the heat and
hallucinogenic or-
humidity makes people nuts.
God damn. No,
Yep.
that's messed up.
Either that or just too many mosquito bites. I don't know. That would probably do it too.
Fucking West Nile. I mean, what is that? What is that? Ebola? I mean,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure West Nile left town. Yeah, he's just giving up on me. So
I mean, that whole like bath salt story down in Miami like years
Yes.
ago, that is the closest thing to a zombie apocalypse we've ever had.
Yep.
oh, people biting. You said one dude ate the guy's face and shit, didn't he?
Oh, I had a lot of
He
fun
got
with some
shot a bunch of
videos.
times and still
Yeah.
chasing after people.
I wasn't a YouTuber back then, but that didn't stop me from making videos, clips from that, and then Walking Dead, and then Black Friday mob videos, like all together, and making music videos.
See, I used to talk about that shit on the radio when I had my radio show on Saturdays. That was my my people from Florida, just kind of weird story would be I would talk about the bath salts because this was like what 2015, 2016, because I had just gotten into I'd gotten into radio in like 2013, and yeah, man, that was that was just those were always entertaining.
Yeah, I had a video of my buddy's band Diverge. He had a song called Society Creates the Monsters. So I did a mashup of best zombie clips from The Walking Dead and clips from the Basalt zombie stories. And then also like, you know, how they always have like those Black Friday fails videos. I like took some clips out of that and then spliced it over his music. And then of course, YouTube got all weird, so I had to take it down like about a year ago. But it was up for about a good 2 or 3 years. They had a ton of fucking hits on it. So good times. God bless the Basalt zombies.
Yeah, you know what's better time though? A Florida man throws burrito in woman's face, cops say, and this has happened before. So Mexican foods have become weaponized in Florida, of course. On Monday, a Port Richey man was arrested and booked on a misdemeanor domestic battery charge for throwing a burrito in his sexual partner's face during an argument, according to a Pasco County Sheriff's Office arrest report.
Always
Adam,
Pasco, damn it. God.
you better be careful,
You
buddy.
want to know why I don't leave the house more often? Now you fucking know why. You get it? Do you get it now? All
Go
right,
out, go get a tan, go have
I'm
a
scared to
burrito.
leave my house, damn it. And the funny thing is, if I go down the same street, like about 10 more minutes, there's like 2 nudist colonies across from each other.
It's okay, man. Just it feels better once the clothes are off. Feel the Florida wind
I'm afraid
on
I'm gonna get one of these people coming after me.
It's okay. This follows January's arrest of Victor Foster, a 49-year-old Manatee County man who was arrested on a battery charge for smashing a Taco Bell burrito in his wife's face and up her nose.
It's
when
always
she
Taco
became
Bell.
upset over a family issue. Wow.
God damn. Why
Last
would you
time it
waste
was
a burrito?
it was getting Taco Bell on the way to disposing of a grenade.
Yep. Yeah. Had to get rid of that grenade. I need some Taco Bell first, though.
Oh god damn it.
All
Cody,
right.
Cody, you're gonna make us love Taco Bell, dude. You realize that, right?
It's not over yet. Parish man shoved Taco Bell burrito in the wife's face during confrontation, cops say. In the latest incident, Pasco County Sheriff's Office say Peter Alakwa, 41, got into an argument with a woman in the bedroom they shared in Port Richey. According to the arrest affidavit, Alakwa shoved the woman into a chair and then threw his burrito at her, striking her in the left side of her face. When deputies arrived, Alakwa was gone, but they couldn't miss the crime scene. The deputy observed the victim with the contents of the burrito dispersed across the face, neck, and left chest, shoulder area, the report said. This happened on Friday, but Alakwa, who has had numerous arrests on domestic battery and drug charges in Pasco County dating to 2013, refused to come home when contacted by officers. He switched off his phone, the arrest report said. Deputies caught up to Alakwa on Monday, and he was arrested and booked on a domestic battery charge and held on $100 bail at Land O'Lakes jail. $100? The fuck?
Who
And
the
then it has
fuck
like
gets
a picture
bail
of
for
a,
$100.
That's
and
cheap
then it
as
has a
hell.
picture of a 7-layer burrito from Taco Bell.
That's like some subhuman fucking bounty, like $100. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this fucker don't have $100. It's like if you can afford Taco Bell, you can afford $100.
I mean, if there's any way you should eat a Taco Bell burrito, it's to get it thrown at you by your sexual partner, you know?
No words. But yeah, this is why I don't leave the house more often. I'm working on it, but I'm always afraid I'm going to run into one of these Florida man stories.
Well, just keep a burrito and a piece of pizza on your side in case
You'll
you
be
need
good.
to
I
defend
know
yourself.
I should definitely have some Taco Bell on reserve, or at least a gift card from there or something. Yeah.
No,
What's
I
really
would-
good are those little cinnamon bites, and you can just
I
throw
used
those
to eat those.
individually.
Remember, I
Well,
used to eat Taco Bell when I
that
was your age. Yeah.
That sounds so good right now. It's like within walking distance of my house.
Before
but-
my body started saying no.
Oh, trust me. I'm not going to, after Monday, I'm not going to be going to Taco Bell drunk at like midnight and ordering $30 worth of food for myself anymore.
I think you should. I think after.
So when
these
you are
Florida
shit
stories-
faced at night, what's your preference? Are you like a steak and shake kind of guy?
What's that?
What's your preference when you are shit faced in the middle of the night, nothing else is open? What
Uh,
do you
Bro,
rather
Steak
do?
and Shake's classy. I don't know what you're talking about.
There
You
ain't
gotta
nothing-
get
I,
a
thought-
pole.
I
over
didn't. I
there.
didn't shit on Steak and Shake.
There ain't nothing around here open normally other
Dude,
than
I would
Taco Bell.
pick Steak and Shake in a heartbeat over fucking Denny's, man. Denny's
I'd
is
have
fucking
to-
terrible.
Denny's.
I'd have to go to Walmart and get something because that's the only fucking store it's that. Taco Bell's open till like I think 2:00 on like Friday and Saturday.
Right.
And then like the McDonald's is closed, Burger King's closed, Arby's is closed, the pizza places are all shut down. There's nothing here that like there's no DoorDash or anything like that here because it's such a small fucking town. So you're pretty well hit unless you, like I said, you go to Walmart or Taco Bell. Those are your only
It's like here's the hierarchy, you know, like let's just pretend I still drink and I'm shit faced in the middle of the night. It's like, okay, Steak and Shake, IHOP,
Mm-hmm.
Taco Bell, Denny's is on the very fucking bottom, and then right before that would be like White Castle. Ugh.
I love White Castle when I'm drunk.
I think I would prefer White Castle over Denny's, but man, that's those are some brutal eats right there.
I don't think I've ever eaten Denny's sober, truthfully.
I don't think anybody's ever eaten there sober. I don't think anybody's ever cooked there sober. I don't think anybody's ever even worked there sober.
I don't think anybody's ever worked there without a felony or 6.
No, dude. So, anyways, I think this is a good place to. You got any more Florida stories, Gooba?
I'll save them for later.
You want to save it for later?
I think this is it's a good time to
Reel
cut
it
off
back
the
in.
Florida man stories, and I'll find some more next week that does not include Taco Bell or pizza. I'll try though. I can't promise you. Maybe I'll find another magnet fishing story. I don't know.
Yes, magnets, bitch.
I'm looking forward to magnet fishing.
Seriously though, we should totally all go magnet fishing.
That'd be
Well,
fucking dope.
Since you just did the Florida stories, why don't you go ahead and plug your channel for us there, Goober? Let us know where you're at, what you're doing, what we should look forward to.
So if you guys want, go ahead and subscribe to Goober Brothers Entertainment. We are here on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, please. I could use the 30th subscriber. That sounds great right now. And you can find us on Anchor. You can find us on Spotify, iTunes, Instagram. Go on Goober Brothers Entertainment Instagram. The logo right here is on there, and you'll hit subscribe or follow or whatever, and then like all my photos. Contact me if you want, if you have any suggestions for further videos. I have an announcement coming up I mentioned earlier, but I'm not going
Too
to say
soon? Okay.
too soon. I'm not going to mention it until the channel, the other channel that's affiliated with the announcement will, announce it. So
Right on.
they've said something in a couple of their videos, but they didn't mention exactly when or who they're going to be doing it with. So
Somebody's poaching you from us.
yep. So
Oh no.
no, they're not taking me, but it'll be a guest appearance. I will say it will be a guest appearance of Goober Brothers Entertainment on another channel. So just, I'll post a video later on whenever the news is, released. So stay tuned.
MJ says Arby's is my go-to drunk food. Are they open late now? I didn't even know that.
Arby's is too classy, man. What
The
you
one
talking
here
about?
isn't. Oh, they fucking close like 8:30, and they're like, you go there for like, you get a one like fry and a sandwich and a drink, and it's like $20.
Now, when I did still drink, what I used to love was Wendy's. I fucking
Oh fuck
loved
yeah, dude! They
Wendy's,
closed the
dude.
Wendy's here
Oh.
down. I was so pissed when
Yeah.
they shut that one down because I used to go in
Yeah.
there and get like 2 or 3 baconators.
Back before they started wrapping their
2 or
shit, when
3,
they-
Jesus
when they
Lord.
started wrapping shit
Yeah,
in
dude.
wax paper, that's when they lost me. They started making everything all wet and nasty when you order
Yep.
it. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Go back to putting that shit in the foil like you used to, idiots.
Cody, when I get the munchies, I don't fuck around.
Salvador, director of merchandising. Tell
Yes,
us
sir.
what you're up to, buddy.
I'm currently playing Fallen Order. I have quickly accruing a back catalog of figures that I should be reviewing, but Fallen Order is taking priority at the moment because I just can't stop. But if what you see interests you, then you can see more of these kind of shenanigans over at my channel, 2 Cents Toys, where I review mostly Marvel Legends of Black Series figures at the moment. But I'm slowly making my way towards my G.I. Joe and classic Kenner Star Wars figure videos. And I assure you, I'm a lot funnier on these live streams than I am on my channel.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. G.I. Joe, that's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
The other half is extreme violence.
Oh, I could not get home from school fast enough to watch that show, man. Loved it. But yeah, I did see your last video on the troopers. Sal does really good stuff. All right, doesn't waste your time. Tells you everything you need to know about the toy. You get really good views, of what inside the box, the packaging. Really good stuff. I enjoy. I do. Plus, I'm a sucker for action figures, so I always have been. I probably always will be. Most of those NECAs behind me, I bought here. I didn't bring those from Illinois. I bought them here.
Yeah, that Obi-Wan that you did a few weeks ago, Sal. Man, I want that figure so bad now.
He's at Walgreens. If you can find them as exclusives.
Yeah, fucking exclusives. I found a couple in the past, but mostly Doctor Who stuff. But what do you got going on, Pete? Plug your channel. Let us know what's coming up. What we got to look forward to.
All right, well, you got to look forward to seeing this badass Mamma Jam right here that I got from Mr. Salvador the other day. This gray Hulk that we saw on his channel. Yeah, so he's still in the packaging. He'll be coming out here soon and introducing himself to a bunch of the boys figures. But I got tomorrow. Let's see, tomorrow's Thursday. So Friday, I'm gonna put up the Mandalorian episode 2 and 3 review. Tomorrow you'll have a little bit of MCU, probably some more Star Wars episode 9 talk. And I got some other things I'm kind of kicking around. The Halloween 2018 review coming soon to a YouTube channel near you. No, it's not. Let's not kid myself.
That's never coming out.
That's never coming out.
You need to stop promising people. You know what you are going to go see though? You're going to go see Cats. And you're going to review it for us.
If I gotta go see Rise of Skywalker and I saw Charlie's Angels, I cannot fucking sit through Cats.
Cats, yeah, Cats.
So, somebody's gonna have to fucking pay me to go see that.
I think you're stunning and brave for seeing Cats for us.
I'm not paying to go see Cats. My wife already. I did that goddamn video. She's like, "You are not," because I showed her the trailer. She's like, "You're not going to watch this, are you?" She says, "You are not paying to go watch this." I'm like, "You mean am I going to spend your money on watching this movie?" No, I'm not.
Fuck all that.
I'm not spending your money on this movie. Trust me, honey. Charlie's Angels was bad enough. So that's what I got going on. I'm on ETEP with Kuians, the place to be reviews. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram at the place to be reviews. We have a Facebook page, just the place to be reviews. We have the group, the private group, the official place to be reviews fan page. You can join that. Put in a join request. One of my admins will get you vetted and get you in if I don't. So thanks for having us on here. This week is great being over on Raiders of the Lost Flicks for the Boardroom, episode number Trace for us Spanish speaking viewers.
Feels good.
Is this the last of our trilogy? Hell no.
Sal, you should go see Cats.
No, I think Pete's got this one covered.
I'm fucking going to see Cats. I love pussy, but I ain't going to see Cats.
Probably won't be a lot of gay guys at that movie.
No.
Too much pussy for him.
No, I ain't going to see Cats. I have nightmares. I have nightmares for years about fucking Rebel Wilson in a CGI cat suit.
Well, it's nice that you're doing the Lord's work and you're going to go see it so that we don't.
Does that make her Garfield?
She ate Garfield and Heathcliff.
I'm glad that you're going to see Cats for us. But anyways, so I don't have any. I don't have
bully me into it.
I don't have any content coming out
Monica,
tomorrow.
go see Cats.
I have. Yeah, you should probably go see Cats.
Yeah. Monica, go see Cats, please.
No, she's already seeing Knives Out. She ain't got
wait. What about Alex?
Alex ain't in our boardroom yet.
Yeah.
No, but
Pete,
I mean, like,
he's gonna go see Cats.
You could do a review on your channel.
I mean, we know how much you love Charlie's Angels, so we don't want to deprive you of more fun. Yeah.
If somebody,
you see the pattern here, right? It's like Charlie's Angels, Batwoman. Fucking look on your face.
Somebody out there send me some ecstasy and I'll go sit through.
Oh my god. No, yeah. Yeah, Cats. Cats is going to be stunning and brave, bro.
Here's the thing. I want to take a bullet for you guys. I think Rise of Skywalker is a bullet, but for next year,
counts. Yeah,
I'm not seeing Cats first of all. So,
but I think MJ's got the worst. But she's going to voluntarily go see a Ryan Johnson movie. So that's pretty fucking rough, right there, man.
You need to stop by your local
I'm not an adult enough to
holy water before you go see that movie.
Yeah, I'm not an adult enough to sit through that shit voluntarily, and I have a movie pass. I still can't fucking force myself to. But yeah. So no content on this channel tomorrow, unfortunately, because I have a doctor's appointment and I'm seeing 2 movies tomorrow. I don't know exactly which 2 yet. It's going to be kind of one of those things that depends on how long I'm sitting at the doctor's office.
I gotta work tomorrow. Great.
So no content tomorrow, and then Friday will be the live show where Pete and MJ will be with me. We'll be reviewing movies and TV shows. Not sure exactly. I know we're definitely doing 21 Bridges, and we're definitely doing Mr. Rogers. It just depends on what else we can probably sneak some Ford versus Ferrari in there too. I did go see that one, so there'll be a review of that one as well. So
I'm gonna catch up on the Prodigal Son by Friday, so I can talk about.
And then also on my channel on December 7th, I want to plug that. Definitely going to be the Star Wars Holiday Special. If you've never seen this little treat, I think Cody, you have to work that day, don't you?
What day?
It's December 7th, Saturday.
Let me see.
I mean, if you can join us, I'd love it. I'll definitely put you in the queue. But I know it's definitely going to be me and Pete and MJ will be watching that on YouTube. Alex will be with us most likely. I don't want to be holding to that, but it's looking pretty good. Like there'll be a 4-riffer version of that one going on. But if you've never seen this little stinker, you're in for a treat.
What time is it?
It's going to be 8:30 p.m. on my channel, Eastern Standard Time. Yep.
I may be able to watch it.
Awesome. Yeah, you'll want to experience this, and then afterwards you can tell me if it's worse or better than The Last Jedi. But
honestly, I'd take anything over The Last Jedi.
I don't know. If you've never seen this, you have no idea what you're getting yourself into.
No, the holiday special is better than The Last Jedi. It's shit, but it's better than The Last Jedi.
It's fun with company. It's going to be fun to riff on at least.
Does it fuck up the lore and history of Star Wars?
Might help if I did actually move the share tab. Yeah. So. There we go. There's my shameless plug right there. So Star Wars Holiday Special on my channel. Live watch party December 7th, 8:30 p.m. on this channel. On YouTube, it is free to watch. If you can't make it and you're one of the people from other countries or down under, that time zone doesn't work for you, if you join my Facebook group, this is my shameless plug. If you join my Facebook group, Raiders of the Lost Flicks. I will be showing that 24 hours watch party in there that you can just jump in and chat, and that'll be playing all day long. So that's my Christmas party. Okay, so make sure you subscribe to Raiders of the Lost Flicks. Make sure you join the Facebook group. Check me out on Twitter. My Twitter handle is right in the corner here at Raiders_OTLF. This has been episode 3 of the Boardroom. Next one will be on Pete's channel.
Yep.
I believe. Yep.
We
are not going to be meeting next week because of the holidays.
Yeah.
So get that out of the way. There's no reason to. All the bigger channels aren't meeting either because we've all got some kind of plans going on, or else we're going somewhere. MJ is going to go see Knives Out on Thanksgiving. So that there's that. Okay. Would you rather spend it with a deranged drunken relative, or would you rather be seeing a Ryan Johnson movie?
That's like fucking asking if you want to be shot or stabbed.
Yeah. Ask Rasputin. But anyways, so yeah, you guys have yourselves a groovy day, and this is the Groovinator signing out on behalf of the Boardroom. You guys have yourselves a very happy holiday, and we'll see you not next week, but the week after on Pete's channel. There'll be plenty of messages going forward to remind you about that.
Oh yeah.
So, and I'll have content out next week, but I don't know how much. It just kind of depends on how things go with company and everything. So, anybody else got anything before we take off?
Cubs win! Cubs win!
Cubs win! All right. Bye-bye, everybody. Peace.
Bye.
Oh my God.
Mazel tov.
L'chaim.